Good afternoon, one and all, and welcome to another episode here on the Sitrep podcast. I am your host, as always, Oriskany Jim, and today I'm joined by my new friend Bernhard. Bernhard, how you doing, sir?
Good, good. Yourself?
Not too shabby. I'm ready to see how fast I can lose an Egyptian tank brigade. What was it? That
I'll do
old,
my best. I'll do
yeah.
my best.
What was that old movie? How to Lose Your Boyfriend in 10 Days. I want to see if I can. How to Lose a Tank Brigade in 10 turns or less. We're going to see how this goes. Okay, everyone, so what we're talking about today is the battle here at the Bitter Lakes. So I'll go into the background in just a second. The system that we'll be using today is Avalon Hill's The Arab-Israeli Wars, our old favorite, our old classic. Again, with updated with updated counters, updated maps, a little bit more historical information built into the scenario. This is a variation of the scenario originally published with this game system. B4 is the number of the scenario. Situation B4, tank engagement at Botsar. So that was the name of the fort or the code name of the fort that was near these Bitter Lakes. So I've just renamed it to Tank Duel at the Bitter Lakes. And again, we got a little bit more historical detail in the scenario, and a little bit of a redesign, a tweak of the victory conditions, things like that. Pretty much an updated, fresh coat of paint on an old Avalon Hill classic is what we're looking at here. So this battle takes place as part of the 1973 Yom Kippur War, which we've talked about a great deal over the last couple of weeks. So I won't super belabor the point, but super fast, just to do this in very fast summary. We have simultaneous invasions of the Golan Heights here out of Syria and across the Suez Canal here in Egypt. Sinai was at the time occupied by Israeli forces since 1967, and the Egyptian objective was to get the Sinai back. So, moving on to our next map. This is the original Egyptian assault across the canal, obviously very high level summarized. And the Egyptian plan was more or less just to get 100,000 troops, or maybe 90,000 troops, about 900, 800, 1,000, somewhere in there. Let's just say between 800 and 1,000 tanks across the Suez Canal, advance about 10 kilometers or so, and then stop and dig in. Because in 1973, the Egyptian army had two massive strengths, actually three massive strengths. Number one, they had an absolute forest of surface-to-air missile batteries they had set up ahead of time here on their side of the canal. These are primarily the SA-6 and the SA-2. And obviously we saw what the Egyptian Air Force did to the Egyptian military in 1967. The Egyptians realized you can't build an Air Force in 6 years. There's no way in hell we're possibly going to beat the Israeli Air Force. We're not even going to try. We're going to take the Israeli Air Force out of the equation with SAMs. The range on these SAMs was, coincidentally, about 6 kilometers into this area of the Sinai. So they pretty much made their army airstrike proof with SAM batteries, as long as they stayed within that range, within that bracket. They also had the AT-3 Sagar anti-tank missile. That took care of the Israeli tanks. Read about something called Black Monday, October 8th, 1973, third day of the war. The first Israeli counterattacks against this Egyptian bridgehead were pretty much annihilated in place. So that's pretty much the end of the Israeli tanks. So you've taken away the Israelis' tanks and you've taken away their air force. There's nothing else. The Israeli infantry has never been that great. They've never been that terribly armed, and there just aren't enough Israelis to build these gigantic infantry divisions to even compete with the Egyptians at that level. So the Egyptian plan was pretty solid. We're going to advance. We're only going to advance about 10 kilometers or so, 6 miles or so, into the into the Sinai, and then we're going to dig in, make sure that we can't be pushed back out, and then we're going to wait for the United Nations to come in here and sort this whole mess out and say, okay, well, the Sinai is technically Egyptian soil. Also, there's 100,000 Egyptians on the Sinai that we're not going to shift out of there. So, hey, guess what? We have to give the Sinai back to the Egyptians. And it almost worked. In fact, it ultimately did work, just not quite the way they expected. So unfortunately, the Syrians were really getting the hell kicked out of them up on the Golan Heights, and they were screaming for help. the Egyptians unwisely accommodated their Assyrian allies, and they attacked again on October 14th and moved beyond that range. I was talking about that surface-to-air missile range in an attempt to cause to draw some pressure off of the Syrians up at the Golan Heights. And once that happened, the Israelis absolutely destroyed. I mean, it was 1967 all over again. The Air Force came in, the tanks came in, they lost that anti-tank missile support, that surface-to-air missile support, and the Egyptians took some horrific losses in what some historians consider the second largest tank battle in human history. Right after Prokhorovka, you've got places like Wadi Marbuk down here in the south. You've got the Tasa Corridor here in the center. You've got some absolutely gigantic tank battles, which the Egyptians lose hard. I mean, absolute massacres. And this allows the Israelis to regain their balance, regain the initiative, and they begin Operation Gazelle. Sometimes alternatively called Abirei Habev, if I'm saying that right, or Halev, stout-hearted men in English. And that's the Israeli counter-crossing back across the canal. So for today's game, this counter-crossing operation is currently in progress. So all of this part of the blue arrows hasn't actually happened yet. But what they're doing is they're just getting across. Actually, the map is slightly inaccurate. Really, it's a little bit further south. This is the area we're really talking about. So that blue arrow should be slightly further south than where it is, to be honest. But the Israelis are trying to push back across the Suez Canal right there. Okay, there are huge counterattacks that the Egyptians are mounting out of the north, out of 16th Infantry and 21st Tank Divisions. This is the Battle of Chinese Farm, which Yavasa, Piotr, and I have played in recent weeks. Keep an eye out for that video later on this week. It's already done. It's already in the can. I'm just going to go ahead and release the videos later on this week. So we've done the northern part of the Egyptians trying to sever this neck. There's this very thin, very narrow corridor here along some of these roads where the Israelis are trying to push this very, very bulky and vulnerable bridging equipment down this highway under artillery fire from both sides and trying to get to that crossing point and get back across the canal. It's a very, very dangerous prospect. This northern attempt to cut that slender neck leads to several battles. You've got, Chinese Farm, Dervisar, and yeah, it really gets nasty there. What we're going to be doing today is the other side of that battle, which is here at Botzer, which is actually incorrect. Oh my God, Ariskany, what are you doing? That's 17 October, not 16 October. It is 17 October, 1973. Sorry about that. And that is where we see an independent tank force, part of 3rd Army, namely the 25th Independent Tank Brigade, moving north along this road, again, to try and cut off that slender neck where the Israelis are trying to cross back across the canal. They are going to be outflanked in turn by a couple units of Israeli tanks. So they're going to be pinned up against that Great Bitter Lake that we see there. That northern blue arrow is going to be Nir's 217th Reserve Armored Brigade. And then further south of that we have Karen's, I think it's 500th Tank Brigade. And that's where they are cutting off the Egyptian 25th Tank Brigade. And we're going to see, long story short, take your first shot of the day, one hell of a tank dust-up. Right here along this narrow road alongside the coast of that Great Bitter Lake. That is today's game. So if we see this yellow rectangle here, that leads into our next map, which is here. Again, a slightly more detailed. Again, we're looking at Karen's 500th Reserve Brigade and 217th Brigade under Nir. There's also a tiny piece of Reshev's 14th Brigade in place right there at the Lakakan fortification. We'll be looking at that in just a second. And this green rectangle is actually our battle area on our Arab-Israeli War map board today. One last map, again, just a little bit more of a zoom in. This is an actual Israeli map of the period that shows where we have these battles. So again, we're looking at Nir's 217th Brigade. You see that little 217 right there. And then we have Karen's 500th Brigade, pieces of it right there. Namely, that's the 430th Battalion. And then again, earlier we saw Nir's Brigade that is going to be, oh God, I can't remember. It's the 113th Battalion and one other battalion. I'll get to the notes in just a second. But again, that green rectangle there shows our actual game map board. So that's the background in probably record time. Oops. This is our actual game map for the day. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the map is sideways. Okay, north is to the right. So, as we see here on this little marker, north is pointing this way. Again, it's mostly a north-south battle, but that doesn't fit on most people's computer monitors very well, so I turned the map over on its side. The Egyptians will be coming in from the south. That's this part of the battlefield. They're trying to break through off the north edge of the battlefield. That's up here. The Israelis will have a small holding force in this general area to initially block this advance, and then they have much more powerful forces coming in first out of the northeast. That's off of, what's the code name here? That's off of the Graphite high ground that we have down here in the northeast. And then out of the southeast, later on in the game, we have Karen's brigade coming in off the Yafan feature, codenamed Yafan, here out of the southeast. They kind of close the door behind the Egyptians, which by this point of the game are probably going to be caught in a big cauldron right here in this open desert. So the game scales are the usual, 250 meters per hex. Each counter on the game board is a platoon or half company of 5 tanks, or maybe alternatively 50 men, a battery of 3 to 6 guns, something like that. You guys have seen these streams before, you know the drill, so I won't belabor the point. But that's pretty much our game for the day. Now, historically, this was an Egyptian slaughter, an absolute massacre. It's probably going to be a massacre again today. I'm playing the Egyptians, but that's okay. I'm used to getting beat up on these streams. That's perfectly fine. Also, I have tweaked the victory conditions of the game so that even though I'm probably going to get tabled or very close to it, that's just to go with the historical accuracy of the event. We are going to hopefully see a game that the Egyptian player can still win. So again, asymmetrical gaming is the battle is never fair, but you want the game to be fair, or at least as close as possible. So now we go over to our setup tab. We do have the one platoon that was actually in place. There were actually 4 tanks that were going up against over 100 Egyptian tanks. 4 against 100. They were outnumbered 25 to 1. Welcome to the Arab-Israeli Wars. These are units of 79th Tank Brigade, 79th Tank Battalion, Reshef's 14th Armored Brigade. They were armed with the Magach 3s or M48A5 Pattons, and they were, kind of doing their best to try and plug this road. Again, Chinese farm, and the crossing is up this way. And the Egyptians are coming in from the south. They're trying to break off the north. So at the moment, all that stands between the Egyptians and their goal, and this is historically accurate, was basically 4 tanks, or in game terms, roughly one platoon. Fortunately for the Israelis, they have a lot of reinforcements coming on the way, and we'll see that as we get going on turn 1. So, any comments or questions so far, Mr. Bernhard, before I check out Mr. Chat here?
No. I'll do my best to oblige you to see if I can table you. Just a few probably introductory comments. I won't add to what Erskine has said. He knows the history a lot better than me, but it is something that I've always I've been wargaming for like 40 plus years, I guess. And this was one of my first trio of games, the Panzer Leader, Panzer Blitz, Arab-Israeli Wars. Got me into this kind of combat. So
that's music to my ears. Those are my 3 favorite games. I sometimes joke that when I die, I'm going to be buried with a box of Panzer Leader, Panzer Blitz, and Arab-Israeli Wars. Because if there is a heaven, they play Arab-Israeli Wars in heaven. I promise you that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and as I said, I'm grateful to be able to play. I mean, this is a great setup. He's put in a lot of work, so I totally give him full credit for that. Taking the Israelis in this side, it was historically, from what I know and what I've read, it was basically a slaughter. It is an incredibly uphill fight. But again, war isn't fair. It's just how it is. And sometimes the weaker force can prevail. Sometimes it can't, and that's just the thing. Fortunes of war. I could be rolling all 1s all the time, and he can roll all 6s, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and that's just fate. That's just how it goes. So, hopefully, it's going to be an interesting game. As I said, I played this earlier. I haven't played this in a long time, so I might be a bit rough. But again, James has been very gracious to sort of not hold that against me, and he probably won't run circles around me. But I know enough probably about how to conduct myself that I don't think I'm going to leave him. I think I understand the term killing zones and all that, I know how to funnel his forces. And again, I played this one ages ago, so it's nice to see an old classic, probably not as I played it originally. Played it on the boards, moving the counters, but, welcome to 2021.
Yep. Not only, I mean, we were gaming like this even before COVID, because
Yeah.
there's just no one else that plays these kind of games near me. So again, I've got players in the UK. I won't go through all the countries again, but we played a game of actual Panzer Leader in the desert that was Damon and Bruce Lee. We played that in at the Beasts of War Studios after the Bolt Action Boot Camp, and that was such a huge amount of fun. I was like, we got to keep doing this. We got to find a way to play this, even though you guys live in the UK, I live in the US. We've got people in Canada, Ireland, Australia, China, literally, Puerto Rico, like literally all over the place. We got to find a way to do this. This is what we came up with.
I mean, as I said, James explained to me how all this was, how he created it, and it's quite simple. It just requires a lot of sweat equity, so
Yep.
I can see that. Again, I hope to be a worthy opponent, and as much as I say good luck, I'm going to try to wipe you out. Don't take it personally, but
Absolutely.
that's just the way it has to go. So,
I would be disappointed if you didn't, because again, if the Egyptians walk away with a win on this, it means that, or I should say walk away with an easy win on this, it means that I overcorrected. So the original victory conditions that were given in Arab-Israeli Wars, the game, are, well, absurd. They're just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
There is no way, and I found this verified in several pieces of other independent literature, periodicals, the General Magazine, other websites. B4 is just, oh my god, don't play the Egyptians in this game, because you will always, not just lose, but, I mean, you won't be right for a while. You wind up in counseling or something. So, again, I played this game several times through, back in the 2012, 2013, 2014 era, recorded all the numbers, how the game shook out, and then used some quick Excel formulas to sort of reverse engineer new victory points, or victory point award levels, to where all those previously recorded results more or less balanced out. So I kind of backward engineered my way into what I hope are more fair, or at least closer to fair victory conditions. So hopefully I didn't overcorrect, is I guess what I'm saying. Alright, so we're now beginning turn 1. Again, these other two Egyptian... Oh, sorry. Let me, you know what? Let me first go over the Egyptian forces super fast. So the Egyptians have, now that everyone feels sorry for me, playing the Egyptians, you don't have to feel sorry for me anymore. I have a cool 100 T-62s on the table. Again, there are 20 counters here, and every counter is 4 hexes. So, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 20 counters times 5 tanks equals, 100 tanks. This is the entire 25th Independent Armored Brigade. It is probably the best single armored formation in the entire Egyptian army, and it's all in one place. It wasn't even part of a division. It was an independent armored brigade. No division commander could be trusted with this. It had a brigade. It had its own brigade commander, its own brigadier general commanding it. It was supported by a full battalion of mechanized infantry and BMP-1s. I have those. We'll be playing these without the AT-3 Saggers, because again, we're sticking to the original chapter and verse. Arab-Israeli War values whenever we can. And then a small mortar section, which is pretty much going to be more or less useless. It was there historically. It's part of a standard infantry battalion. And a small battery of Saggers. That might be a little bit more useful. But this mortar platoon is going to be basically useless unless I start throwing down smoke screens with it. A huge force of armor. It's just not the best as far as quality of its troops or its equipment. The Egyptian army's infantry was top shelf. Whenever the Egyptian infantry got a chance to fight under anything like its preferred conditions, it would win. It won many, many times throughout Yom Kippur. They won basically a Chinese farm. Some people may disagree with me on that, but come at me, bro. I'll actually debate you on that. They definitely won on October 8th. The IDF calls it Black Monday to this very day, 40 years later. Egyptian infantry is nothing to sneeze at. Egyptian armor, on the other hand, yeah, kind of not so hot. And then we've got, in addition to that one platoon of Magaks that we were looking at a second ago, we've got 126 113th Battalions of Nir's 217th. These guys were armed with shot Cal Centurions. I finally found a reference that tells me what was actually in these Israeli tank battalions. The sources that I find on the internet and in most of the literature, most of the printed books, they are fantastic at telling you what battalions were in what brigades, how many tanks they had per day, how many runners. These ones broke down, these ones were hit but were being repaired, right down to the individual tank. They just never tell you what kind of tank it was. That is so infuriating. They just say this battalion had 16 tanks that day. This battalion had 19 tanks the next day because they fixed a couple overnight. They never tell you what kind of tank it is. I finally found a source. So I've been arguing back and forth with myself and with other players about whether or not Nir's brigade was actually armed with Centurions, Centurion shot Cals. They have an enhanced movement rate because they put an American engine in the British tank, or whether they have the actual M48 patent, or Magak 3s, Magak 5s, whatever you prefer. Finally figured it out. So Nir's brigade is armed with shot Cal Centurions. Same with Karen's 500th. These are the Centurions, the classic immediate post-World War II British tank, one of the best tanks of the Cold War period. The original 20-pounder gun has been, of course, updated to the British L7 105mm rifle. And what really makes this tank work now is they took out that hump of shit British engine in there, that Meteor engine, and they put in the Continental engine. That's what Cal actually kind of stands for. Is the original 3 letters of Continental. I can't remember how they got Continental into Cal, but there's some logic behind that. It just escapes me at the moment. But that's pretty much a Centurion with an American engine in it. So its movement rate goes up to 6. Which, trust me, it makes a difference. So these two forces of the Israelis do enter the game relatively quickly, just a little bit later in the game and from different angles. Alright, so for now, we're going to go back to what I was doing and moving my tanks on the table as part of turn 1. So I start there. It's the first hex with an actual number and a dot, so it's a playable hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll notice I'm only moving 2 tanks in a stack, and the reason for that is Arab Israeli Wars only gives you the road movement rate bonus, double movement, if you have less than 2 hexes, or if you have 2 or less units in the stack. You're allowed to put 4 units in a stack, but if you have 3 or 4 units in the stack, it's still legal. You just don't get the road movement bonus. Because that many hexes, or that many units will fit in the hex, it just won't fit on the road within that hex. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He bails off the road. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Avoid that minefield, thank you very much. So that's something else we added to the scenario. The original scenario does not include this historical minefield, which was there. Actually, these 2 clowns are going to, because I've already lost the road movement hex, the road movement bonus. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze them in there. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put all 4 of them in there. Concentration of firepower. Riskinese rule of war number 1. Get all your shit together and just slam that fool as hard as you can. Especially when you're playing a Soviet model army. You don't want to get fancy. You just want to get all your stuff together and just go for it. These BMPs come on next. They advance a little bit faster because BMPs are faster than T-62s. So I'm not even going to mess with too much of the road movement right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm just going to pile up the rest of my guys behind them. 1.
See, this is, I'll just make a comment, and it was
Go
something
ahead.
that when I used to play, and after a while, it's when setting up the minefields, we always used to play with a lot of dummy minefields,
Oh
because
yeah.
then you sort of have to, and again, I'm not saying this is wrong. It's just that normally the chance that you find a minefield by it going off under you is probably 9 out of 10 times. It's only the 10th time that you actually, oh look, there's a sign or there's something. So I mean, and again, it's just a game and it's all this stuff, but it's something that I've always sort of like found just, oh, we always sort of really put the minefields, and it just sort of, yeah, you never, this is, and again, it's just a pet peeve of mine in a lot of war games is, it's now a bunker is a different thing, but even then, until a bunker fires, you really don't know where it is.
Well, that's going to depend a lot on the scenario and how old the minefield is. Now, in this particular case, I would probably agree with you. This minefield historically was left standing from the 1967 war. It's been here for 6 years. But most tactically significant minefields were laid yesterday.
Yeah.
And they're actually pretty easy to spot. They're not there to cause you to step on them and blow up. They're, especially at this platoon, company, battalion, brigade level, it's there to channelize you. Now, in Valor and Victory, we definitely use hidden booby traps. We definitely use hidden bunkers, screen movement for the Viet Cong and NVA. Yeah, I definitely would agree with you on that. But historically, these units were... 25th Brigade took like 2 hours to move this far because they were being very careful. They're probing, they're making sure they don't get hit, because they kind of knew they were walking into a death trap. This was not a surprise Israeli ambush, believe it or not. The Egyptian generals the night before were screaming at their chief of staff, "Dear God, don't do this. You're sending all these poor people to their death." They knew this was coming. They just got overruled, and before you knew it, they had to do it. But a lot of times minefields are easier to spot than most people think at this level. Lower down into the platoon level, the squad level, the individual fire team level, yeah, then that's totally different. And also, again, it depends on how old the minefield is. This one is pretty old, so there's no like shovel marks or disturbed grass or overturned earth over these mines anymore, to be honest. And again, everything here is a platoon. So even if the first tank ran over a mine and almost blew off one of its tracks, a lot of times these tanks don't get damaged by mines. You just hit one. Even if you do lose that tank, you've got 4 more in that platoon. Game-wise, the counter is unaffected. You're now down to 4 tanks instead of 5. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's a game. We have tried dummy minefields and hidden minefields. You do that in some of the Omaha Beach games for Panzer Leader, where you actually write down the hex numbers where all your minefields are, and you don't actually put the minefield counters on the table until somebody hits them. It's fun, it's just a lot of work, and it causes a lot of slowdown in the game. Alright, so that's my first movement phase complete. Oh, actually, no, it's not. Sorry. Almost. These guys are not that big a deal. No artillery, no air power in this game. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Infantry, what the hell? Oh. That's not supposed to be infantry, that's supposed to be the... What happened to my mortar section? God dang it. How did that even happen? Somehow the counter, I probably just deleted the wrong one. My mortar platoon, or my mortar section. Oh, that's the wrong unit, dummy. Sorry. There it is. False alarm. 1, 2, 3. That's about the best I can do for now. Alright, cool. Now my movement's done. Alright, and that completes Egyptian turn, because there's no direct fire, obviously. There's no overruns, no close assaults. We're now going to go to Israeli turn 1. So, let's go through the movement, let's go through the turn sequence here. There's no artillery in this game, so we can skip the first 2 major stages in the game. Turn sequence, which is call in new artillery, resolve all old artillery. We can skip air movement phase because there were no aircraft involved here. Not until the very, very end of the day, outside the scope of this game, did a single MiG-17 show up and try to do something. The Israelis were screaming for air support, but no aircraft showed up historically. All right, so that's going to be the first 3 stages of the turn sequence, pretty much. We start off with Israeli direct fire. And honestly, I don't know if you have any lines of sight yet, this early in the game. So you always measure center of the dot or center dot of the hex. Yeah, he's got dunes in the way here. Actually, that one's pretty close. But the dune between 1607 and 1608 does block him. But almost. He definitely sees a dust cloud. He's got a few dunes in the way here. So these dunes do not affect line of sight when you are adjacent to him. So he can obviously, everybody, shoot over the dunes that he's right next to. He's like bellied up against those dunes, firing hull down over top of them. However, any intervening dunes do block his line of sight. So these points here wind up, this one right here, wind up blocking his line of sight. Yeah, so I don't think there's any line of sight yet. So that's it for direct fire. He has no rallies to make. We'll then go to movement phase. So, number 1, he gets to choose whether or not he wants to move this tank platoon. Also, his first reinforcements show up.
Okay, yeah. So I'll have the reinforcements move first.
Okay. So they come on in a certain band of the a certain row of hexes, or a certain range of hexes, I should say. They come on the east side of the map, so that's the bottom, anywhere from hex 20 to 33. So pretty much the northeast sort of side of the table. So that's going to describe a band roughly like from 20, where's 20? Here. That's pretty much his entry zone.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm just going to take 2 seconds to quickly look.
Take your time.
Okay, yeah, okay, just want to see exactly where you are.
And that's just historically where 217th came on. They came in off the codenamed graphic terrain feature. Rasmus comments, yeah, smoke ain't that useless in this game. No, it's not, actually. A few more smoke units would be nice, but hey, if you're going to use the 82mm, the Soviet 82mm mortar battery for anything, smoke would definitely be a way to do it.
Okay, so I'll have, I don't know if you want to move them individually or whatever.
Sure, no worries.
So it'll have two tanks, yeah.
Yep.
They'll come up, and 2 of them will get into, I'm just looking at the hex numbers, into 2213, and 2 more into 2213 and 2312.
Okay, so 2 in 2213.
Yeah.
Got it. So he used the road movement. Whoops. He used the road movement rate, and he moved up in here. That was your first 2. Your second 2 were in where? 23.
2312, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, 2312. So right next to it. The next 2 are going to go in 2214.
Got it. Yeah, so he's using, everybody, I'm sure you've noticed, he's using these dune lines here for his hull down shielding. The only possible problem he's going to have is this dune line here is sort of dividing his overall zone of fire into 2 separate wedges. But he does have this whole arc pretty well covered.
Yeah, my thing about that, and that's exactly in, it's also because there's the dunes that are sort of ahead of his lead tank units that you can see basically at 1408 and 1508 and 1509. That's sort of blocking line of sight. So I figure once he passes that crest, that's when I can start shooting at him. He will have some cover from the dunes in 1607, 1707, and that. But, you know, I still have the other units that can sort of fire to cover that. So I think I've got him pretty good. I mean, I can't shoot, but I can start, getting the kill zones ready. And I'm not going to move my commander. I think he's just going to stay there because he's got a nice, good vantage point right there.
Alrighty, cool. So over here on YouTube, Damon adds that Kal is the first letter of continental. Oh, that's right. So it's a Hebrew character. I got you. It's also a word that means easy. Yeah, the Israelis love the. They always liked the Centurion. They definitely liked it a lot better once they put that American engine in it. They definitely liked that. I think Damon told me that the common expression in the IDF at the time was they took a truck and turned it into a Trans Am. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Trans Ams are fun. But, all right. Cool. So
I'll just make one final comment.
Yep.
And I know I'm at an extreme range from my commander to sort of maybe fire on the lead unit. But again, at super long range, I don't think I'd have the best with all the modifiers and that. So I figure I'll just let him come towards me. And it does surrender some of the range advantage that Jim's and I was talking with before. We were talking about range and all that. But I'm just basically, I'd rather, I see it's just a low value shot, low odds shot. I'll just see, hopefully I won't live to regret it.
are we talking about this guy here? Because this guy doesn't have line of sight.
It's blocked there?
He's blocked by 1607 and 1707.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he did. Okay, so.
Now this guy can technically, he's blocked by that dude right in front of him. Yeah, I don't think there's any lines of sight yet.
Yeah, there's no one yet.
This one's really close. In fact, this one, I think there is line of sight, but again, fire phase takes place before movement.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's 11 hexes, and again, it's fire. That's at the end of my movement, not at the beginning, so I don't have that. So, I mean, again, I have to take it as it is, so that's it.
All right, cool. So after movement, there is obviously overruns, close assault, stuff up. I'm going to go into the turn sequence. We'll probably be going through the turns on this game pretty quickly, guys, because this is a relatively simple game. Arab Israeli Wars, the scenarios are staircased. You get some basic scenarios, some standard scenarios, and some advanced scenarios. This is one of the basic ones. Hence the name B4. Okay, so it is now Egyptian turn 2. Egyptians go first in this game. Egyptian turn 2. The Egyptians say, okay, I have no line of fire. Even if I did, I'm well out of range, because my range is nothing like his range, in more ways than one. Hence the weapons effective discharge, which we'll get into. But for now, yeah, I'm going to go, again, straight to my movement. Now here I got to start being careful. Here I gotta start being careful, not only to minimize my losses, but to also stay legal. Alright, I'm taking this tank counter right here. 1, actually 1/2. 1, 1.5. 2, 2.5. 3. So you could see this guy as soon as he got to, just to kind of go through the first one. All right, you can't see him in 1507. He's blocked by dunes 1607, 1608. He appears in your gun sights in 1607. All right. So let me start that over again. 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. He's now spent 1/2, 1, 1.5. That is a quarter of his movement. When he spends a quarter of his movement in your line of sight, your continuous line of sight, he's now eligible for opportunity fire. So you don't have to, but I just, as you know, again, for a friendly game, 1907, he is now eligible to take opportunity fire from 14th Brigade.
Yeah, so and again, this is part of the, do you shoot at the first crack, or do you just, once he stops moving, then you missed your opportunity fire.
Yes.
But at the same token, will he advance closer? And I'm just going to check the weapons effectiveness chart at this point because I want to make sure that.
Do you see the new one in my file off to the right there?
I'm just going to do that now.
You are definitely doubled. So in 1973, Israeli tank platoons double out to half of their range. So his range is 14. Within 7 hexes, his 25 attack factor actually reads as 50.
So now, okay, so I am at this point, right?
Oh yeah, you're only 4 hexes away. This is a sweet spot. This is when you're doubled and I'm not.
I'm just...
While you're doing that, I will get a copy of the combat results table. And slide it over here.
You hit the crossroads and, I'm going to take my shot.
Cool. All right, so that is 25 doubled to 50 versus 12. That's an easy 4-to-1. Automatically disrupted or dispersed, even if you roll a 6. Obviously, the lower rolls are better. Roll a 1 through a 4 to score a kill.
I'm actually going to, you got the dice tray there, so I don't mind if you roll it and, let everybody see.
Oh, okay, no worries.
I figure that's
if
safe
you want me to roll your dice for you. I warn you, I roll really bad.
Wait a second, let me think about that now for a second. It's a friendly game. You roll the dice,
Right,
maybe
cool.
later on. Actually, it's the first shot of the game. I got to take it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll take it. So, first shot, I'm rolling. I'm going to have to be honest here.
Absolutely.
And I rolled a 6.
Okay, so he's disrupted. Or dispersed. Alright, so that was the worst roll of the game. However, that close, for an Israeli tank gunner, that's a chip shot. That's like practically point blank. He just got a bad die roll. The worst roll you can get is a 6. You want to roll low in this game.
Yeah.
So that is opportunity fire taken. Put a quick opportunity fire counter on him.
Yeah.
And that's his turn for next turn. That's okay though. I'm going to go ahead and move the rest of my forces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here I'm actually curious.
I think I have that too.
You don't have him in 1707 because he's blocked by 1808.
Yeah, but it's when you do the next.
You do see him here, but remember, you have to spend a quarter of my movement rate.
So that's
going to be 3 hexes on road. 1, 2. By the time I get to my 3rd, yeah, you got it.
Got it at that.
Barely. Look how close that line comes to the end of that hex row in 2107. But yes, you legit got it.
But I still have the 4-to-1, the double
2,
at that
3,
range.
4, 5, 6. Yep.
And I'm going to take it.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
No, you roll after this. I rolled my first shot. You can't roll any worse than I did, so.
All right, if I roll a 6, I'm re-rolling it. There's no way I'm having 2 6s in a row. Come on, machine, give me a break here. There we go. All right, here we go. And that is a 4. That is a kill. So we'll take him off the map. We'll replace him with my favorite counter in the game, the wreck counter. Kaboom! All right.
No, 1 back.
Yep. All right, so that's one of them has fired. All right, cool. The next one. 1, 2. Basically, he's doing the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is his buddy going to take a shot as well?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Roll again.
He's making me kill my own units, guys. Look at this shit. This is no surprise. This is kind of what you're expecting.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and again, this is you're just driving, and again, it shows to me, it's the absolute superiority in Israeli gunfire, and you're just driving up because you can't do anything until you close the range. You cannot win the long distance. Your orders are to get off the north, So it's just drive, and it's really to me it's the Egyptian has, it's send everything and hope something survives.
Something's going to survive, and I've got bad news. Spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure Reshev's brigade is already dead. They just don't know it yet. It's just numbers. Numbers. Now, we'll see if I can actually make that happen. But he's going to run out of opportunity fire. In fact, he may already be out of opportunity fire. We have to check some geometry in just a second here. But 1, 2, 3, 4... I'm going to stop there just for now because, again, now I'm curious. These guys can't shoot again. These guys can shoot, and their angle is going to be slightly different. Oh, maybe not. 1, you can see me there, so that's 1, 2. Okay, never mind. Now, is he close enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, no. Please do note that shot cows only have a range of 12. Not 14.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure why Arab-Israeli Wars does that. I'm guessing it's the optics. The American optics in the newer tanks were a little bit better. It was the range is 14 versus 12. There is a difference in the range there.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. So those are only worth now. Yeah, it's more than half range. So that actually I have to go here before that's available. So we have to go there. It's more than half range. Now you do not get cut in half the way my tanks do. So they're worth 25 points apiece. If both platoons fire, they get another 4 to 1.
Yeah, you do 4 to 1 or you do a 2 to 1.
Yep.
I'm just thinking here for a second.
Yeah. This is for other people in the chat. This is where you have to make a decision. The Israeli player has to live with this decision. When you play Arab-Israeli Wars, you make this decision all the time. Do I go for 1 kill or 2 pins? And a lot of times the right answer is 2 pins. I don't know about this particular case, but a lot of times it's a lot easier to take two pins rather than 1 kill.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the 2 to 1 shot.
Okay, that will be 1d6. Now he's only on the 2 to 1 table. And he still scores a kill with a 1, because I roll awesome when I'm rolling for other players. Look at this graveyard. Boom. Okay. The other guy does the same thing. He winds up in the same hex. The other tank. There you go.
Yeah, and the other tank does the same thing.
Stop rolling 1s. A 6. I think that's a clean miss.
Clean miss.
Yep, that is a clean miss. Okay, he got away with that one. Now.
He's hiding in all the wrecks.
Now, notice that road hex now has 3 wreck counters in it. I can no longer get the road movement rate for that. That may be tactically significant. What might save 14th Brigade are these burning Egyptian tanks, because that partially blocks the road there in hex 2007. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't get that, so my 6th and last point is right there. He's going to have to stay there. And now that hex has 4 points in it, 4 stacking points. That hex is now completely packed with 20 tanks. 15 of them are burning, but there are still 20 tanks in that hex. That's how the stacking rules work in this game, and why wreck counters are actually kind of important. You're not just being ghoulish when you fill up the board with wreck counters. There actually is a point to it.
Yeah, no, and to me that is actually, as I said, it's after a certain point, it has so many wrecks. It's going to be harder to hit, but it's also, the tank has to really slow down, and it just cannot. You can't move as much through there at, an open road is an open road.
Oh yeah, this road is blocked. Garbage. This road is blocked with 30-ton pieces of steel. Half of it's still exploding and burning. You can't even get close to it because a burning tank is a very, very dangerous thing. Fuel, hydraulic fluid, ammunition. Yeah. Now there are rules in Arab-Israeli Wars for how a tank can push a wreck counter out of the way. We're not going to get into that, but yeah, wreck counters are a thing, especially on roads. In the open desert, who cares? You drive around it. But on a road, it becomes a thing. All right, so now all these 4 guys have taken their opportunity fire. This guy is not going to have any line of sight because he's blocked by this northern thing. So I'm going to go ahead and move the rest of my guys. Not nearly as far as I thought. This little bastard might actually get away, because he slowed me down just enough. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you... Oh, yeah.
5. Well, it's the same thing. 6. I wind up with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No, isn't it? You've already used. You have to slow down because you're using the road movement rate.
Yeah. You're okay. So I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No.
Yeah,
I thought it. I thought.
You're allowed to have. You're allowed to have 2 units in the road and still have road movement rate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
A third tank could not do that. So I've used
Okay.
5. Now I use my 6th movement rate. My 6th movement point. I only get 1 point because that tank definitely has more than 2.
Yeah. Okay. That was it. Yeah. So it's up to 2, and then.
And this one's also going to be 4. Now that hex is fully loaded.
That's 5.
Yeah.
1.
Now this guy starts off the road, unfortunately. So moving onto the road is going to cost me the full movement rate. So that's not half, that's 1. 1. Now he's on the road. 2, 3, 4. One guy can do it, the other guy can't, because now there's 2 hexes, there's 2 units in the hex. So one guy is one platoon is back on the road a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll do the same thing with the other guy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
One can move in.
5.
And then up north. Or go up 1 or. Yeah.
6. 5, 6. It helps the Arab player. Pro tip: move your tanks 1 at a time, or at the very least, or at the very most 2 at a time. You get more out of the road movement right that way. Oh god, here it sucks. I didn't place this guy too well, this company too well. Alright, that's going to be 1 to mount the road. 2, 3, 4, 5. At this point it doesn't matter. 6. I only got 1 point left anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me at least get some cover. 5, 6. Now here's where I hope to put him in a slight dilemma. 1. Oh god. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. I gotta use dunes to my advantage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not using road movement right anyway. 7, 8. These units are all, I mean, I'm sure you realize this, but just for people in the chat, these BMPs are all carrying infantry platoons. So when you're carrying infantry platoon, the carrier and the passenger unit count as 1 point for stacking purposes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
And
4, 5,
carrier's
6,
always on top. If the infantry unit's on top, then they've dismounted.
Yeah, that's how you indicate whether or not they've dismounted. It just makes for some crazy stacks, especially when you're playing physically. You have like 8 units in a stack, and then one of them is carrying a Sagar reload, that's 9, and then one of them is dispersed, and then one of them has been spotted, and one of them is taking opportunity fire. Before you know it, you have like this stack of poker chips for a stack on the board. Don't bump the table at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That guy only moves 6 because of reasons. He's in a slower vehicle. Oh, this guy. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to keep my battalion together here. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is it for my movement phase. We now go to. He was dispersed during your opportunity fire phase,
yeah.
So he does not get to rally yet. So that's no overruns, no nothing. That's it for my turn. Sweet. We now go to your turn. Begins with direct fire. You only have 2 units that can take direct fire.
Yeah. Or I can move my full.
Yep. Even units that, no, again, for people in the chat, it's post 1973, actually post 1967. Actually, I think the rule specifically says 1960. It's really tank units can take the split movement fire rule. The Egyptians cannot. If I fire, I'm stuck there. Because again, Egyptian tank crews, not the best. Hello, Vorpalbite has joined the crew. Hello, Mr. Vorpalbite. Vietnam Miniatures ended early today when the house cat crashed into the game table. Oh no! A Viet Cong cat. Poor Vorpalbite says because science teacher. He had a... because science teacher, I see what you did there. Vorpalbite's miniature table was wrecked by an actual household cat, jumped up on the table. He had a literal cat attack. Not a close assault tactics attack. He had a cat attack on the table. I gotcha. Because
okay,
science teacher, you win for joke of the day. All right, go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah. That the BM or the BTR in 1511. That's carrying. I just want to know what unit it has.
Yep.
Underneath it.
Sure.
I know technically I shouldn't, but
no, that's how the game works. It's how also I know where the minefields are. 82mm mortar in this one, and a Sagar in this one.
Okay, so I really don't want that Sagar to fire, but do I kill him? Do I try to take him out?
Now, I am behind a dune, and I am not a Soviet tank. I do get +2 for hold down shield.
Yeah.
Soviet tanks only get -1 for hold down shield. And of course, any Israeli unit. Except the TI-67, which you don't have in this game, because it's a Soviet tank. Yeah, this is where he's got to make a choice, guys. If he fires on those Sagars and on that mortar crew, he'll score extra kills because I haven't had time to unload them yet. So number 1, he'll get like double victory points. Number 2, that Sagar's a threat. Number 3, if he does that, he's going to limit his ability to laterally redeploy southward against my mech battalion swinging around his east flank.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that I'm thinking. Do I sacrifice freedom, my movement potential? However, the Sagar is a deadly unit. It can still, as much as we probably countered most of the threat of it, it still can, it can do stuff.
Not that you have to role play a character here, but Nir's brigade was one of the worst hit by Saggers on Black Friday. I'm sorry, on Black Monday.
Black Monday.
These guys hated Saggers.
Yeah. So on the one side, a little revenge is never really too bad in a war game. You know, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to fire one guy. He's just a threat. He's just a tad too powerful. I'm going to have to do it. I know those guys are coming. They're a lot, but they're still right now. They're in their vehicles, so they're not a threat as a deadly threat. A couple of Egyptian soldiers with RPGs. Yeah, that's a deadly threat. In their BMPs, not so
once
so
they
much.
get close, yeah. But those Saggers can hit from 12 axes.
Yeah, that's why.
They hit with 30 points, which is a nice even 2-to-1 on any Israeli tank platoon.
Yeah, and I think it's for that reason I'm going to say I'm going to shoot at him.
Okay,
one tank.
With one tank platoon. That's 25 against 5. That's 5-to-1. However, you do have to add 2 to your die roll.
Yeah,
so
I know that.
All right, you're basically looking. Oh, I'm just saying for the chat. So you're basically looking at a 1, 2, or a 3 for a kill. Everything else pretty much disperses. Okay, so do you want to roll? You want me to roll again?
No, you can roll.
Get it in the box, fool. That is a 4. That is a dispersal. So 4 becomes a 6 because of hold down shielding on the 5-to-1 table. That is a dispersed unit. Dispersed units automatically unload. So that goes to the front. However, they are both disordered, which means they can't fire or move. And they are now subject to morale checks, which is when I remember I never looked up what the game gives the morale for these guys. Hold on just a second, guys. Apologies for a point of order. What the hell? Oh, here it is. I think it's either a B or a C. I'm pretty sure the Israelis are an A. Israelis are almost always an A.
It's B. Egyptians are B, it says.
Oh, Egyptians are B? Okay, cool. Alright, cool. So that's going to affect how I rally at the end of the turn. Cool.
Yeah, I had to take the shot, I think. Okay, and I'm going to... if you can just move the screen a bit more down. Yeah, thank you. So 1 unit is fired, and so it's going to... do the split move and fire, so I think he's going to just do a little of repositioning.
Alright, well, before we start moving, let's go ahead and finish up. Let's keep the turn organized. Are you going to fire that second tank platoon at anybody?
I'm just looking, and I'm thinking... No, I'm going to actually move him.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, now we go ahead and start with your movement. Everybody gets half movement, except for this one guy who gets full movement.
Yeah. So, he will go... Let's see if he can actually go.
You want me to scroll south a little bit more?
Yeah, just a bit more if you don't mind.
There's a spot on the map. Ooh, Springtime has joined us, as well as Ben Johnson. Go ahead and consider your turn. I'm just going to talk to the chat for a second.
Sure.
Yeah, Ben Johnson, welcome to the chat. Oh, hell yeah, here we go. Yeah, Ben, I'm not sure if you played this actual scenario. I think you played a different one. Yeah, I think there was an Iraqi scenario where it's just a mass of Arab tanks just getting slaughtered by Israeli units. Meanwhile, Springtime says, I am working on a 2021 Egypt versus Ethiopia air battle in Command Modern Operations. That's an interesting scenario. Yeah, like we were saying before, one of the main reasons, I don't remember if we said this on camera or not, we were talking about the prospects of a possible Egypt-Israel war in the future. And, I mean, I guess we're just being optimistic. We're saying that it's almost zero chance. Both sides are just too well armed at this point. They realize that an Egypt versus Israeli battle in the Sinai or the Negev Desert in 2022, 23, 2030s would just be an absolute massacre. Um, and also, both sides have other problems. Egypt obviously has problems in Libya and Sudan. Remember, Egypt has other borders too. And yeah, to look southward again to Sudan, and also, yeah, Ethiopia is a big problem for the Egyptians going forward. So that's actually an interesting idea, Springtime. Thanks for putting that in the chat.
Okay, yeah, because I'm still thinking, but I know some other units that are going to start moving.
Okay, yeah,
so
you can move your units in
we'll
any
start
order.
quick. Yeah.
As long as vehicles always move first, but you only have vehicles, so it's all good.
So, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is Reshef's 14th Brigade is going to decide to move back.
No! Okay. All right, so let me scroll this way a little bit so you can see the...
Yeah, so he's going to go back. So he's going to move back. He can move 3, so he's going to use the road. So he's going to go along the road for 2, and then he's going into 2704.
Hey, that fort's there for a reason.
Yeah, you know, and the +2 is a +2. That's a really nice thing.
Oh, yeah. And if I'm firing from this way, that hold down shielding and that IP is cumulative. I'm adding +4 to a friggin' D6. Yeah. This is how the Israelis survive on the Valley of Tears. All those reverse slope improved tank ramp positions. Okay.
Okay, so the next, I'm going to move the 2 units in 2312.
Yep.
We're going to redeploy to 2510. Okay.
Now, do I take opportunity fire or not? He started moving here. He moved to 2412. I see him. He's got hold down shielding, but he is in my line of sight. If he takes the 2511 route, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he is in range. And now he's moved 2 points, which opens him up to opportunity fire. Now, that's the good news for the Egyptian player. Here's the bad news for the Egyptian player. The Egyptian player has to only doubles at 2 hexes or less, and after 4 hexes, after half my range, I actually get cut in half. Third point of bad news, I don't get to move after I fire the way he does. I don't get the split move and fire rule. So I could throw 6, make that 9 tank platoons at him at 9 points apiece. 9 times 9 is 81. That would probably kill 1 tank platoon. But then that whole battalion is pretty much stuck there for the next turn. You know what? I'm going for it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me get my calculator out. You often need a calculator when you play the Arabs. The Arabs really worse. Because you have a lot of units. Those 18s reduced to 9, however. 9 times 6 is 54. That's not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 9 is 72. Divided by 15. I'll do all 9. This is kind of dumb. 9 times 9 is 81. Divided by, I was trying to get cheap. 15, 5.4. Okay. He's going to be engaged in hex 2511 when he does not have hold down shielding. I'm going to go ahead and take that poke. That is these 3 entire stacks. Oh no! Sorry. Forgive the intrusion, guys. Give me a second. Go away, go away. Okay, sorry about that. That is going to be these 3 entire platoons, or these 3 entire stacks. Note the guy that is dispersed cannot help. So when the unit is off on an angle like that, that means he's pinned down. He means he's dispersed. But pretty much the main bulk of my force is going to take a shot at 1 tank. Platoon, pretty sure I'll knock him out. Yeah, you got to play the numbers game when you're playing these the Egyptians. All right, I need a 5 down. Watch me roll 6. I just rolled a 6! Why did I say that? He survived that. He just got fired at by 9 times 5. 45 tanks just fired at them. And they're just like, ow. That kind of pinned me down a little bit. That was annoying. I don't believe that just happened. I'll just put a huge opportunity fire over that whole stack.
I mean, and I'll say this: what Jim's just gone through, that's your standard, typical Egyptian player / reaction / life. You will fire with an entire stack and not do anything, and it's like, the Israeli can fire, and it's like they can't miss anything, maybe one, and you use your entire army, and you can't even kill one unit.
Yeah.
And it's just like. And it's like now I blunted like the whole movement for one turn.
I was gonna say that's the worst part. The worst part hasn't even happened yet. The worst part is my next movement phase. They're all stuck there.
Yeah, well, that's it. Is that
they could be halfway to Chinese farm by now.
And I think this is one thing where you really have to sort of, do you take the chance to kill, or do you just say, I'm going to try to go for the objective and do this? And again, I think it's so one of those. It comes down to the player. It comes down to whatever, where you say, I don't care if I come out with 2 tanks, that's it. Or, I'm going to try to, and it's hard to say, I'm going to trade shots with the Israelis while I'm constantly losing units. Like, and again, I'm doubling my range, and he's halving his, and doubling my attack at range, and he's quartering his at the same range. And it's like, I need to use everything to just do 1 damage. If I can't even do, and if you don't do anything, he took a chance to kill a unit. If it would have killed a unit, my forces are down by,
a significant percentage.
Yeah. So, and if I kill 2 of his, he's really not down. But again, he's now stopped his entire movement, and they're all stuck there.
Yep.
So, and also the one other bonus is, now most of the other stuff can probably move and not get affected, because it'll move out of range or whatever, and it's like,
the rest of his force is going to be free to move now because everything's already fired, or almost everything's already fired. Yeah.
And again, that sort of once you've used your chance to shoot, you've spent it. So if you spend it do you use it on the first unit or the last unit? And again, that's it's up to the player. It's up to, you think maybe I'll never move again in line of sight, and then he gets nothing. Or he fired everything. He should have killed it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're taking opportunity fire, or when you're moving, I should say, when you're moving in the face of opportunity fire, guys, always move 1 unit at a time. And that way you're forcing the defending player to say, wait a minute, do I shoot now and do I shoot later? And you put him in that dilemma. Don't just move all your forces and say, okay, did you take opportunity fire? Because now he's seen everything you moved, and he can kind of like stall time, go back in time and say, I want to shoot at that guy and that guy. It's like, no, you take your opportunity fire as I'm moving. It makes the turn sequence a little clunky, but it's important for the tension and the actual tactical options in the game.
And I'm going to say also, I moved to 2 units because I'm sort of just thinking, like, realistically, both platoons have been ordered to move, so they both move out at the same time. Not like, okay, this unit, and then a few seconds later, you go after him. I said,
yeah, I mean, I wasn't saying that. I mean, either way, if you had done them one at a time, you would have moved, okay, I'm going to move this guy. 1, 2, opportunity fire. Okay, now this guy gets to make that move without, it comes out to the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, to me, it was just saying both units are moving. And again, it's to me, it's like saying, look at that target. We're going to fire. Hopefully we get lucky. Well, and again, to me, that's just the style of play when you're playing these games. It is or it isn't. What can I say? You just, it's a game at the end. But the next movement.
Yep.
So they've all fired. You really have nothing left that's got range. But
nothing significant, like a few scraps, but
yeah. The only thing is, it's also, and again, partially is there's not really that many options I have to move. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna move the. Okay, I'm going to move the units in 2213.
Yep.
They're going to drive to 2511, where the dispersed unit is. they're going to also go there.
All right.
So they got there. That's it for their turn right now. They really can't make anything further. Oh, should I go? I'm just hold on a sec. Should I go? Do I stop at 25:12? Hold on, I'm just 24:12. Oh, that's my screen. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I'm gonna go to 24:12.
Yeah, good call.
24:12. Yeah, they'll not.
At least there you get hold down shielding.
Yeah, I was just looking at the thing, so sorry about that. And then for the last unit is one unit is going to go.
One of these two gets full movement.
Yeah.
All right.
So the one that has half movement.
All right.
And just a question because I haven't played this in a while. Yeah, half movement still means it's on a road. It's still half a point.
Yep. So if you stayed on the road the whole time, you would technically move 6 axes.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I'm gonna send the guy with. The guy who has 3 is going to go to 26:15.
26:15. There's 2. Got it.
It's next to the J.
So he goes 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And the last guy, who's got full movement.
It's going to charge right in the middle of all those BMPs. Oh wow, the chat's going crazy. I feel bad for the Egyptians in this game, says Commando Solo 193. I was not feeling bad about my chances until I just rolled that 6. I thought I had at least one flamed out Israeli platoon going there. Really, it's go all out as fast as you can and forget losses. Kind of. That's actually true, except I kind of blew that when I took that opportunity fire in the north. It would have been worth it if I scored a kill, but I didn't score the kill. That's just bad dice roll.
That's what it came down to. It. It's like it was a 1 in 6 chance.
So Commando says, I swear those counters look like they're from Panzer Blitz. You are very, very close. Panzer Blitz came out in 1970. Then came the second edition of the game, Panzer Leader, in 1974. 1977 came Arab-Israeli Wars. This literally is a heavily updated version of the Panzer Blitz rules engine. So yeah, those counters are going to look like Panzer Blitz, Panzer Leader. It's technically the same game, although by the time you get to 1977 Arab-Israeli Wars, they changed a lot of the rules. But yeah, the counters look almost identical. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to move. Sorry for interrupting, but I'm going to move.
Go ahead.
So he's going to go. He's driving on the. If you just move the map a little bit more down.
Yep.
So yeah, he's going to go along the road. It's going to go 23:13, 24:14, 25, 25:15, 25 to 26:17. Then he's going to go off the road.
So 1, 2, 3, and then he goes off the road. Okay.
Goes to 20, and he's going to go off the road to 24:18.
Got it. Yeah, here's the thing about the Israelis. You get stretched thin really fast.
Yeah,
really
fast.
I mean,
as I said, and this is it's sort of playing into what Jim has done. He took a chance. His whole stack is not moving. I'm slowly, I got a bit of latitude to sort of just flex out a bit, I guess, or whatever, because I know next turn he's not moving. Like the majority of his forces are not moving.
A big piece of my army's not moving. Sure.
And to me, that's a big bonus, because it does give me sort of, do I take the shots next turn, or do I full move to like really redeploy, which gives me, and again, I'm getting some bonus units next turn. So,
yep.
It's sort of like, and again, I think this is one of those where what Jim did was right. It's only because he didn't kill the unit, it's going to sort of come back to bite. If you would have killed that unit, but again,
it was barely worth it if I killed the unit. Even then, it was questionable. Once I missed the unit, or I only dispersed it, it's definitely not worth it now, because you're going to rally almost immediately because you have a morale of A, and yeah. But okay.
I just think that it's again, because if you didn't take that shot, all those tanks would be basically right next to the improved positions. They would have been basically.
And you would only kill one of them or two of them with your whatchamacallit fire, and the rest of them could have been off the table.
Yeah, and now it's all there, and it does give me sort of like, I can next turn full back, and again I'll get a lot more shots. And again, it's so hard to say if do you move or shoot? Do you move or shoot? That's to me, it's the quintessential Egyptian question, because you really want to kill units. I mean, you really want to get units off the table.
Yep.
So, the shooting is such a. I'm putting on the full brakes.
Yeah.
So
it was a gamble that didn't pay off. Is all I can really say.
And
so Ben Johnson says Sunday pizza time, y'all. A pepperoni, sausage, and jalapeno. Oh man, jalapeno. And Springtime says, at least you're not the Syrian army with the old ex-German army Mark IIIs and versus Israeli M40s, the Super Shermans. Yeah, you see pictures of burnt out like Mark IIIs and Mark IVs up on the Golan Heights, and you're like, oh man, it's bad news. We used to call it Panzer Truck back in the day. Oh yeah, so yeah, we got another Panzerblitz fan in the chat. Cool.
That's basically my turn. So after this is.
Yeah, so I've got turn 3 started here. I'm sorry, you were saying something? Go ahead.
I think and again now it's going to be interesting, because as I said, I rally. If your units don't rally, you have 2 units, but still you're not going to be sending a lot forth. And if you only send 2 units, I don't see you sending 2 tanks forward by themselves. You could,
especially since I have another shot coming up now. Okay, so beginning of Egyptian turn 3. No artillery yet, so we'll skip that phase. We go straight to Egyptian direct fire. None of these guys get direct fire because they took their opportunity fire early. So those 3 hexes are out of commission for this turn. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 2 are out of range. I have these 3 that didn't fire, this guy that didn't fire, this guy didn't fire but has no line of sight. He's blocked by these dunes here. So I've got 4 tank platoons that are still eligible to fire. Do I throw good money after bad, folks? Do I make it worth it? I have 4 18s, which at this range is really only 2 18s because I have at greater than half my distance, half my range. So 2 18s is 36. That is 2 to 1. Subtract 1 from the die roll. I only need to score a double D to kill him. Time to do this. Alright, so I got 2 16s. That's a total of 36. That's all 4. So I'm firing this unit and these 3 units. Because you're right, it's pointless for me to send forward half my battalion, so I might as well finish my fire phase. So it's going to be these 4 tanks platoons, which really only turns into 2 tank platoons. 2 18s is 36 versus 15. That is 2 to 1 odds. Subtract 1 from the die roll because you're dispersed, and a double D will do it. Yeah, was there webcam going here? Oh shit, hold on. Didn't have the webcam turned on. Alright, webcam going on. A 3 becomes a 2 on the 2 to 1 table. I got him. Alright, now it was kind of worth it. Sort of. Alright, that's going to be it for my fire phase. He has no line of sight, and nobody else has any kind of line of sight. I'm going to complete my fire phase with my rallies. So this tank platoon is going to try to rally on a 1 through a 4 because he's morale level B. He fails. He stays pinned down. Next, Sanger platoon, 1 through a 4. He survives. The BTR 50 that was with him also succeeds. Alright, these Saggers are up and ready to rock and roll. However, that was their fire phase, so they do not get to fire now. That's going to complete my fire phase. I now go to my movement phase. Unload. And these guys have now mostly fired, except these two never fired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take covered position. Everybody else has fired except this guy. He's going to do the same thing. They've all fired, so, or failed to rally, so none of these guys are moving now. These guys have completed their movement. Technically, these units can back up. So unloading costs half your movement rate if the gun is under a certain size. These guns are both under that size. However, that's it for their movement, the actual passenger unit. The carrier unit, I'm sorry, the transport unit can move half if the unit being unloaded is beneath a certain size. Except, not that I really care. There's a total line of sight there. 1, 2, 3, whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And he's in range too. But I don't think he's going to take that shot. I should be so lucky. Alright. Finish up my movement phase super fast while I get a drink. Mr. Commando Solo 193, I am taking your advice. What does he say in the chat? He says, just charge and forget the charge as fast as you can and forget the losses. Get ready with opportunity fire. Here I come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's really as far as he can move. I don't even think you have to take opportunity fire. You can just shoot me up in your own fire phase. Oh my god, this is going to be a slaughter.
I know, that's what I'm saying, is that, I mean, you're moving there, it's like, why should I even shoot at you? It's like, you're either going to move, if you hardly move that I'm not going to do it, or you go for broke. But the thing is, by going for broke, is that you're just, you know, I'm shooting at you at like 10 to 1 odds. Whatever they are.
It's going to be about that. It's going to be 50 to 6. But you can only kill one at a time.
Yeah, no, and you know, that's how you got to look at it, is that
Whoa, whoa, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, unfortunately, I cannot overrun you. That's going to be it for my movement phase. Yeah, this guy is suddenly in a very happy little neighborhood. Allahu Amanah! Here we come! North end of the board. Only half of us, well, probably less than half. Only a few of us are going to make it, but damn it, some of us are going to make it. Chinese farm. Here's the terrible thing, in the larger context of the campaign, where these guys are so desperately trying to get is Chinese farm. So even if they make it, they're not gonna make it. Chinese farm is an absolute hellhole right now. All right, that's gonna complete my movement phase. I've done my rallies. That's gonna complete my turn. Over to you for Israeli turn 3. Unless you want to go ahead and skip your direct fire phase. Oh God. Novus Templar says, thanks for broadcasting today's game. Novus Templar, because science teacher's joke of the day has just been revoked and re-awarded to you. Thanks for broadcasting today's game. They have on YouTube old 1970s, so springtime on YouTube. The old YouTube 1970s US training films, like the difference between an M60 and a T62 and such, the AT2 question mark Sagger. I think it's the AT3 Sagger. There is an AT1 and an AT2 missile. I just don't remember the names of them. But yes, I think I have those training videos. I think I know what you're talking about. How to defeat them. Some of those training videos are great. If I remember, if not, check out our Discord channel. I'll post the link in our Discord channel. Has the one where it's meeting engagement for Soviet forces. It's an army training film about how the Soviets look at the meeting engagements. The actors they have to play in those Russian. I won't bog down the chat, but it is a great. It's a great video just for comedy value. It's the things that they thought that worm was gonna do. It's crazy. All right, I apologize. It's over to your fire phase, sir. There's the whole map.
Yeah, no, I'm just... I'm just thinking, because I'm going to bring on the brigade, and I'm just guessing that where it says I'm supposed to come on, and you said that I'm supposed to come on from the east edge, right?
No, you're coming on, the east edge, so the bottom part of the map, within rows 01 through 15. So
okay,
pretty much toward the was it the Paulsam Road?
Yeah. Okay. Now I think you just have to transposed how that should. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I'm seeing how you did it. Yeah. It's like that.
They come on from the Yafan feature, technically.
Yeah. So.
I'll scroll back up so you can see the whole map.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm gonna.
Yeah. That's that second brigade. Karen's brigade came in behind the Egyptians. Yeah, so that entry vector is on purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna ask if you can put those units on, because I'm gonna start driving them on, and then I'm gonna move the other units.
Okay, your fire phase comes first.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No worries.
My fault. Yeah. So
again, unless you want to skip your fire phase, I would appreciate it.
No. I'm just gonna ask for a rules refresher, and that is if I wanted to overrun.
Cool.
So that would be like I'd actually do the fire phase during my movement.
Yeah. So you would not fire now. You would go ahead and just launch an overrun. The problem is, even if you don't use a quarter of your movement phase, you automatically invite opportunity fire. Because you're technically spending 2 movement points to overrun.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's only 76mm guns and those BMP ones, but there are a shit ton of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Now here's a quick house rule. Okay, Egyptian units normally double out to 2 hexes. This thing only shoots to 3 hexes. So we run across a lot of this in early 1939, 1940 games, early World War II games. When the range is that short, it starts to break the weapon's effectiveness chart. So the way we normally do this is, in this case, BMPs double at 1 hex only, not 2 hexes. They get normal attack factor at 2 hexes and half attack factor at 3, which for them is extreme range.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, almost anybody you overrun, you'd be taking a swarm of opportunity fire. And hold down shielding does not protect you during overrun opportunity fire because you're basically in the same hex with the enemy.
Yeah. Okay. Now. Okay, so first thing he's gonna do, so he's gonna have to do some shooting and all that stuff. So what I'm gonna do is he's gonna end up firing.
Okay, this guy down here.
Yeah, we'll end up firing at the unit directly south from, directly below him in 2419.
Okay, I do get +2 opportunity hold down shielding in that case. Shoot at the guys to the north, they don't get that. It's up to you.
Oh yeah. So 2.
You're still shooting at 50 to 6. That's 7 to 1 odds almost. Because you double.
So, and at 50 to, I'm just gonna check, but 50 to
50 to 6. That is.
Oh yeah, and it's +2 to the die roll. So
yeah.
It's.
So you're on the 6 to 1 table. So you're probably still gonna kill him.
That would be 7 to 1. That would be 7. 50 to 6.
Now 50 to 6. Oh yeah, you're right. Because I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's 7 to 1.
My math is terrible. So yeah, a 5 would still kill him. A 6 he would survive. Only because of the hold down shielding.
You know, it's actually not gonna. It's gonna sort of play. So I'm actually gonna take the one. Yeah, you're right. I'll just take the one that's in 2515. That guy.
2517. This guy right here.
Yeah, that guy.
No worries. All right, now you're at the 7 to 1 table with no modifiers. I'm not even gonna pick up a dice because even if you roll a 6, he's dead. Kaboom. Toast. And that counts as 2 units for victory purposes because when he's carrying infantry, the infantry goes with it.
Okay, so, and then what's going to happen is the guy in 20, that guy,
yep.
2615, is going to do the same thing to 2516.
Peace.
I think that's again, boom.
Again, 7 to 1 with no modifiers.
Yeah.
This is called the finger of God phase. You point at it and it dies.
Okay. Now for the other ones, can you scroll up? Because this is going to be. These guys are going to have to.
Here's where you got to start making choices. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's going to be obvious where 2704 is going to fire. He's going to fire in 20. I can't.
2704, gotcha. No, you cannot see these guys.
Yeah, I can't see those guys?
Nope, they're in the woods. Or palm groves. You're technically not spotted.
Oh, they're not spotted. And I can't hit the guy in 2008.
No, there's at least 1, if not 2 dudes in the way.
I think there's 1.
Yeah, that fort, there's 1. That fort historically is meant to, was part of the Barlev line. It's supposed to defend westward over the lake, prevent landings over the lake.
Yeah, okay, so he doesn't have much of a shot anywhere.
Not right now, not until I start moving again.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that's a nice little blind zone there. But I wanted to take the +2 just in case. So you might actually end up moving anyway, so it's not going to make a difference. But still shooting the other ones, though. Can't shoot there. I'm just looking at. So 2510.
Yep.
To 20-0.
Cool. 20. Which one?
That's ranges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could fire at 1907, right?
Yes, units never block line of sight. So you can totally take that shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, you can fire into all this stack, and you're still double because you're still at half your range.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire into that stack.
Alrighty. How many are you engaging, and which ones? Because some of them are dispersed.
Yeah.
You're worth 50 points in that stack, in that hex.
So I could actually technically fire on the entire stack of 1-to-1.
Yeah, this is why you should never stack your units too deep as the Egyptian player. Because this happens. Yes, you can attack the entire stack at 1-to-1. This is when the gunner is just screaming at the loader. Load them faster! Yitzhak, just shove them in there! The breach is just smoking red as he's just shoving more shells in the gun. The loader is like pouring with sweat. Load faster!
Oh, it's either going to block everything or it's going to do almost nothing. I'm just thinking if I engage 3 units...
Ooh, that's going to be 50 versus 36. You're still at 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Now 2 units, you get 2-to-1.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's where the math starts to come your way a little bit. Tell you what, take your time. While you're doing that, I'm going to make a quick score sheet because I just realized I'm removing units off the table as opposed to...
Yeah, I'm just looking at that. So that's 50. I'm just wondering if I'm going to... And again, this is the thing of like, do I coordinate with the other 2 units to try to bump that up, even though they're not going to be as much? So that's 50. So that's a 1-to-1. But I can bring it to 2-to-1 if I add those 2 other units.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's the problem. Those other 2 units are outside half range, so they're only worth 25 apiece.
Yeah.
So if you throw all 3 of those platoons in there, 2 in 24-12, 1 in 25-10, you got 100 points versus 48 against the whole stack. Yeah, 2-to-1. That's a heavy dice.
No matter what, you're out of no matter what you do, you're 7 away. So I'm not going to get the bonus. So do I throw everything into that? And I'm going to take the chance. Those 3 units are going to fire into that stack.
Okay.
A 2-to-1 hit, 2-to-1 roll.
Here's Mr. Dice Cam. Oh no, 2-to-1 on that whole stack. This is going to get nasty. All right, here I go. Please roll a 6.
1.
A 5. Okay,
Dispersed.
so a 5. Everything in there is dispersed. I believe the guy who's already dispersed is now dead.
That's a double disperse. So
5. Well, hold on. The 5 becomes a 4. Yeah, it's double dispersed. So the guy who's already disordered is now dead. He counts as a kill. And the other 3 are now disordered. Or dispersed, pinned, whatever you want to call it. Usually go this way. Cool.
To me, it was
inconvenient.
and then again, if I could have killed that, it would have blocked that road too.
Totally. Well, it's still kind of blocked. So 4 equals 8 points. And other Israeli kills, you have killed, oh god, a lot. Actually...
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, down here there's 4. So I use smoke columns for soft kills, just for scorekeeping and bloodbath purposes. And of course red counters for hard kills, armored kills. So that's actually 4 units down there. 4, yeah. And that is 4 points. So your score right now is 12. And Egyptian kills, I've only got 1 so far, that's 4 points. And what else? That's it, I have nothing off the table yet.
That's it.
Alright, cool. I can still win this, I'm losing 4-12, but I'm going to come back. Here comes a great halftime rally. Here we go. The coach is in the locker room saying, "God damn it, what's your problem?" Okay, so that's pretty much all your movement, or all your fire, right?
Just scroll up. I just want to see one more thing.
Oh, yeah, you never fired this guy. Sorry.
I just want to check what 12 would be. He's 14, right? So.
Yeah. Again, that's.
I just don't think he's got anything. No, he doesn't have anything.
Doesn't look like it. So we can go to your movement phase if you wish.
Yep. So, okay. So the first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to bring on my reinforcements.
Hey, Karen's finally showed up. Where the hell you been, man? Oop. Come on.
Whoa.
That was weird. Okay, he can come on anywhere up to the Pazim Road. Anywhere on the Pazim Road or east of that. I should say south of that. Again, the map is on its side. So, hex columns 01 to 15.
Yeah. So.
I'll scroll up so you can see where everyone is. Actually, I'll zoom out. There you go. Now you can see the whole map.
Yeah, so. Okay, so they're gonna come up on the Possum Road, so that's 15, 20. Yep. Go to, so the first unit's gonna go. It's gonna go all the way to. If you can follow the road where it cuts the dune.
1, 2.
Yeah,
3.
there. Yeah, I think he's gonna stay there.
Okay.
And he'll move one more to 17. One still behind the dune, or going off the road.
Okay.
No,
so
the other way.
Oh, 18, 17. Gotcha.
Yeah. It was small for me, so I was.
Okay, no worries.
So then the next unit's going to go to where he was on the road there, and the last one is going to go below where he is, behind the dune.
Kind of like that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now some units are still going to move. They've still got the 3.
Absolutely.
So first unit is the 1704. Is going to go into the fort. Yeah, he'll go into. Should he go into the fort? It gives him a +10 though, right?
It gives him +10 to his defense and 2 to his defense roll, or 2 to my die roll. Yeah, it's really hard to dig tanks out of fortifications.
Yeah, that's going to be a difference. So he's going to go there. The tanks in 2413.
Okay.
Are going to go.
Gotcha. So about these 2 here?
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh yeah, he's there. Okay, so he's going to go to 26.
Want me to zoom in a little bit?
10. If you could zoom in, yeah.
So
Okay.
26, 10.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then the second one follows there too.
All right.
And the last guy, no, there's still more guys.
I think you've got 3 guys you can still move.
Yeah, so they've got 3 guys. So, 2510
Yep.
is going to go to he's going to go to 2811.
Gotcha.
2615 is going to go to 2916. If you can lift the map up a bit.
Oh.
The other way. I know you can do some opportunity fire, and I think I'm going to have to almost brave it. But he's going to go to 2620. So he'll go to 2518, 2619, 2620.
Okay. I do not take opportunity fire. Although now with Karen's brigade on the table, I'm pretty sure that mech battalion's lost. But you never know. We'll see what happens. But for the immediate question, I do not take opportunity fire. I'm not making that mistake again. Okay, so there's no rallies.
That's Israeli turn 3.
No overruns, no cats. Cool. So we begin turn 4. Refresh my memory. When did you have to take off again? At 5 o'clock?
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Okay, no worries. We'll get as far as we can. If we don't get all the way through, no worries.
I mean, if we can't finish, I mean, we'll see if, I can easily play on again. It's just I during the week, it's just a hard time for me on a Sunday.
We don't
dinner.
we don't want to have these streams go for 4 or 5 hours either. So absolutely, I totally get it. All right, so direct fire phase. I don't think I have any. Because I can see you in that fort. You can't see me. Because that fort does not make you invisible. However, it makes you damn hard to hit or kill. So I'm not going to even mess with it. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to call in an artillery mission. Because now I have a battalion of mortars. Or a battalion, I wish. Now I have a section of mortars set up. So let me write down the hex number as soon as I can find a pen. As long as I have line of sight on the hex number. Actually, cancel that. He's going to call in the fire mission himself on a hex he can see. So he can fire a smoke mission on a hex he can personally see. If he's going to call it an indirect, I have to plot it a turn in advance. Well, I'm actually going to call it in on a hex that he can see personally. Alright, so I'm going to go straight to my direct fire phase, starting with my mortars. So my mortars got a range of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Smoke shell, damn it, smoke shell concentration. There in 2217. That's not going to afford me much protection, but it may be just a little. Okay, next direct fire mission. Saggers. No line of sight. No line of sight. No line of sight. Damn it, no. I have no line of sight. Because I suck.
No, this is, to me, that's the thing about, you know, I mean, he would have been dead, but it's like, just where he is, again, those dunes are just,
Yeah.
It's like you, and you know, to me, is moving is like I'm trying to protect, is also, I want to be at the, okay, I want to put as many dunes between you and me from certain units.
From
So
certain
it's,
units,
again,
but
it's,
not others, yeah.
yeah, and you got to take what's the most biggest threat. And to me, you know, Sagar is still one of those that you never forget. They're 30.
Yep. And they
You know,
they never divide, they never double, because they're self-propelled warheads. Obviously, they're always 30. I think they do have a minimum range of 2, but other than that, yeah, they always hit with 30. Okay, so that's going to be it for my direct fire phase, I think, because my Sagers are now going to have to move. They can move. They're regular infantrymen. They don't even move at 1. So, all right, I will now try to rally these 3 tank platoons here in 1907. So, call it Mr. Webcam. 3 tank platoons, they're all identical types. They need a 4 down. Oh my god, they all fail. Oh, Egyptians, you just live up to the history sometimes. Alright, I guess that's it for them.
this is the thing is now if they get another turn of fire, it's like, uh-oh.
So, I'll move everybody else then, because they're not moving. Actually, move this guy first. 1. Where was he?
Yeah, there.
1, 2. So he's in your line of sight. I'm talking about your guys in 2607. Out of your line of sight. That's 2.
Out.
3, 4, 5.
Back in.
For a split second.
I'm talking the guy who's, hold on, the guy who's in 2811. He starts getting it.
Yes. So guy in 2811. Let's go ahead and measure him. He picks it up.
I think one more even before.
Right there. He's blocked by this thing. It
Oh yeah,
starts
there.
off right there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he picks it up there.
Yeah. So that's the point when I come and knocking.
Cool.
You go
1,
back 1.
2, 3, 4, 5. You're within double range, so it's a 4-to-1 shot.
Yeah. Roll the dice, please.
All right. Back to the. Now, why can I won't roll any 5s, 5s, and 6s now. Now I'm gonna start rolling 1s. He doesn't even need a 1 to kill me. It's just gonna be a 1 for spite. What did I call it, or did I call it?
You know, I think one thing is really coming clear in this game. All crossroads are death to Egyptian tanks.
Yeah, that crossroads are not doing good at crossroads. They get there, like, and in that split second of hesitation where the driver's like, do I turn
left or right?
Boom,
Left or right.
that's when the
It's
shell
like,
hits him. Alright, so he's opportunity fired.
I had to take that, you know,
Oh,
I had to
absolutely.
take that shot, and it's like he would have been home free then. Well, I have the other guy, but
2. Now, because of this stack of well, I can actually move through here. I just can't use the road movement rate. 1, 2.
2.5.
No, because I can't use the road movement right there.
Yeah, so that's
yeah.
1. That's
so it's
2.
1. That's 2.
There's 2.5.
2. Oh yeah, I got you. 2.5, 3.
3.
4. 5. Fuck your crossroads.
6.
Now, I actually think he's kind of safe there.
Yeah, if you just scroll down, I think I just no, it's the other way because it's scroll up. If you can just move the flag, I just wanted to see because I know it's gonna at a certain point you're gonna start going in. So now you're gonna be back into line of sight. So
that's why he stops there. At 2905, I'm back in your line of sight. So your line of sight begins between 2806 and 2905 because of Dune Hex that ends in 2704.
Yeah.
All right, so problem is nobody else will really be able to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can't move into 2806 using the road movement rate because there's a wreck counter in there as well as a live tank. That's two tank units for sacking purposes. And 2705 is just begging for a point-blank shot from that fort. So I'm trying to stay out of there at least a little bit. Alright. Same thing with this guy. These 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. He's gonna stay there. I'm totally playing the Doom game here. Let me get a thinner number. Ah, that's too close. Alright, he will... stay there. Okay. Next, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's where I'm just gonna eat shit. Alright, there's 6. Sooner or later, I'm just gonna eat shit. Alright. They've already failed. Scrolling south. Oh god. Alright, warm up those opportunity fire dice. One, 2. I'm assuming someone's taking opportunity fire?
Yeah.
Okay, just a technical point of order for people in the chat. When I move here, not within line of sight of this guy, because he's blocked by this Dune Hex here. This guy can see him though. So he becomes eligible for opportunity fire from this platoon here. For this platoon down there, he has to move one more hex, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure he's probably already pegged either way.
Yeah, at that point.
All right, so that's gonna be this platoon takes opportunity fire.
Yeah.
Cool. He's toast.
That's 2 more.
Alright, and that's opportunity fire for him. 1, 2, out, so in line of sight, out of line of sight, in line of sight, second movement point.
Now I give it to him.
For this guy. Okay, 7 to 1, no modifiers. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't think I have anything.
I don't think so either. Between these dunes and the smoke screen, I'm just keeping an eye on Karen's brigade.
Yeah.
So what was that? 1. So these are all
2.
single wreck counters, so I can still use the road movement rate.
Yeah.
It's 1 to get on the road. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They made it.
Yeah.
1, 2, blocked by the smoke screen. Oh, wait a minute. 1, blocked by the smoke screen. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are not T62, so they only count 1 point each for escape purposes. 1,
Block.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Okay, let's do it right. Not blocked by the smoke screen, but I think he's blocked by dunes. Yes, he's blocked by dunes in 2018, 2118. Okay, and then when he gets on the road, he's going to be blocked by the smoke screen here and blocked by the smoke screen there. Cool.
Yeah.
Hooray, mortars!
That was a very good smoke screen.
Dude, when you play the Egyptians or the Syrians, you get real crafty with smoke screens. They're your only hope sometimes. You see all these stupid Russian 82mm mortars in your force, and you're like, what the hell am I going to use them for? Smoke screen, smoke screen, smoke them. Smoke them, smoke them good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, cool. And that is it for that battalion. And I think that's it for my movement phase. He fired. These two guys aren't really going to do anything. Actually, let me not throw away points here. 1, 2. Yes, you guys are totally being abandoned. 3, 4, 5, 6. And everybody else has... Oh, one group has not moved. These 3.
Yeah, those 3.
Worried about these 2 guys. 1. Let me see if this is even worth it.
I think the dudes will protect you. They'll protect you from the guys in the south.
Yeah. I might lose 1 to the guy in the fort. So
yeah, that's the most I'm thinking, because the guys in the south don't have it with the dunes.
1,
so you're gonna.
2. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna trace this out, and because I actually now I'm kind of curious, and I don't even know. So 1, 2. Damn it, Rashid. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Display driver freak out. Sometimes does that. 1, 2, 3. It's just gonna freak out again. Damn it, machine, stop doing that. I don't even know why it does that. Okay, Alright, it's not even letting me select the stupid tool now. Alright, hold on, I have to close this out again. Give me 2 seconds, guys, to reopen this stupid thing. My tool is letting me down. This thing usually works really well. Nice, simple, free tool, download. Alright, so... 1.
No.
Nope. 2. No. 1 point, and then when I spend my 3rd point, I'm blocked again.
Yeah.
So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't use Mo Rubin right at that crossroads. 5, easily blocked. And then 6. He winds up in 3204. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, it's I just think that the guy from the north is gonna fire on you, so he's gonna fire on 1 unit. So
he sees me here. Hold on. Yeah, he does not see me there. He definitely does see me there. That's 1 half movement point, 1 full movement point, and then when he spends his 1.5 movement point, I think he gets away with it. I think he actually gets away with it clean. Then he's blocked by...
I'm just thinking...
Go ahead.
Because I'm just looking at, like, he goes out through the packet 3, the 2405.
Yep. That's 1 movement point. He's totally visible there to your guy. And then I get into 2506. I'm blocked by this hex line there.
Okay.
And then you see me for both of... Wait a minute. Yeah, so you temporarily lose sight of me there. This is a complicated one. You pick me up again here, because I'm adjacent to the hex side that's blocking me. I move into this one.
And I pick it and I get you there.
That's that's one movement point, and then by the time I get to like 1.5 again, now I'm backed away from the dune. If anyone in the chat sees a hole in my logic, or
I'm
Bernhard,
just,
if you see
again,
it, you let me know. I think I get away with it. I stress think.
I see, and this is the thing again where I'm a bit rusty, so there's the full 1.5 half, like the
It's one
the
quarter.
amount
It's one quarter
in
of your
continuous. In continuous.
It is definitely continuous. Yeah. It is continuous. That much I'm sure of.
Because it's like you're going, to me, it's like you're almost in, and then you're out, then you're back in, and then you're on, and then just as about to acquire, you're back out. So it's like, it almost seems, and again, here's somebody if you look at it, someone's driving, they go behind a hill, but then they're back on the road, past the hill, going towards another one. Do you, as I said, when you try to look at the logic of it, like you put 2 hills in front of it, but the guy's driving on the road, and it's like he's in sight, out of sight, in sight, out of sight, in sight, and it's like, okay, could you not hit him?
Are you accusing me of playing Panzerbusch?
I know.
It's actually a valid point.
To me, and I said that is one of those things where if you're driving, or you're in a, and again, I almost say you put it in that situation where you almost, I know it's a rule, but you're also trying to think, yeah, but it makes almost no sense in a sense that you are driving exactly in that, and I'm thinking that continuous.
Yeah, if he drives behind one side of the hill, can you anticipate him coming out the other side of the hill?
And again, it's like it has to be the quarter where it's not like it's just 1 hex. It's actually like 2 to 3 hexes. So that's actually a bit.
He's moving. The Russian tanks are fast. Say what you will,
yeah.
Russian tanks are quick.
But you know where the road is. It's like it's not rocket science where like he's not going. It's not a curve. It's right behind. So yeah,
it's only 1 tank, so I won't argue the point. I just want to actually find this now.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at 2 for the rules. It's like.
Alright, opportunity fire. As soon as a unit expends 1/4 of its total movement allowance in hexes where it is spotted and where there's an attacking unit, movement is activated. 1/4 movement allowance must be extended while the moving unit is continuously in the attacking unit's line of sight, line of fire. A unit that is moving automatically spotted, undispersed unit. Whoa. Oh, undispersed. Yeah, as soon as the moving unit enters a hex where it is no longer in line of sight, line of fire of enemy attacker, the moving unit is no longer activated as a target for the enemy attacker. The moving target is activated again only if it expends another 1/4 of its movement allowance. A moving target must activate all over again each time it moves out of line of sight, line of fire of the attacking unit. Is the gospel chapter verse in the rule? It actually doesn't matter to me.
No, if it's the rules, it's the rules. It's like, as I said, it's just one of those.
He doesn't make it off the table. It's as far as he gets. They moved, they failed. They moved. That's it for my turn. Because my morale rules are terrible. Alright, so over to you, turn 4.
Okay.
Out so you can see the whole map.
Okay, yeah, so. Now, basically, I have to end up moving everything north and try to kill as much as I can. So first fire. Do I actually have any targets? I don't even know if I have any targets to fire in this.
I'm doing the best I can to stay on a line of sight.
Yeah.
Technically, you do. You can finish off these fools.
Yeah. I think I probably will have to do some there.
Or the APCs behind them,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after. I'd rather take the tanks. APC.
No, it's the tanks. You get double victory points.
Yeah.
So the tanks are definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Also,
that's good.
they're dispersed.
I have to do my first shooting, so they're gonna fire.
All Alright, are you taking on, are you putting both platoons into it?
Both platoons, it's the same attack
2,
as last
3,
time.
4, 5,
Well,
6,
no, it's not.
7. You're 7 hexes away, so you don't double. It's 50 to 36.
It's 1 to 1.
Yep. You subtract 1 from the die roll, and you are looking for a double dispersal. So you're looking for a 4 down.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's the first shot. Roll it.
Oh man, you're gonna make me roll this. I feel bad when I roll the dice for the other guy.
I you know, just because then the world will see.
Yep, you're right. You're right. That's a 3. So a 3 is read as a 2, which is a double dispersal. That is all 3 of those tank platoons destroyed. Good shooting, Abraham. Boom. Quadruple stack of wrecks. That's just a thing of beauty.
So I think that's one of the few times that I think the hex is totally blocked to movement, right?
Actually, in Arab Israeli Wars, it is, you could never block a unit entirely.
Oh,
yeah. Because what it does is, what people were doing in old school Panzer Blitz and Panzer Leader was throwing empty half tracks and basically building artificial walls of wreck counters. You can't move here now, especially if it was an objective hex. It was just, so you can always move one unit into a hex, no matter what. No matter how many wreck counters you put into them. But only one, because that hex is now saturated with wreck counters.
Okay. But on the good note, I have wiped that thing out. So now basically all my enemies are...
That was 6 more victory points. Yeah, it's 3 more tank platoons.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to actually do some creative stuff, because...
Wait, that guy did take opportunity fire. Sorry. He killed this guy here on the road.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, like these guys have, so they can't do any fire. So those 2 guys fired, so now it's going to be these guys. Do they have anybody? I don't think so. There's nobody in line of sight? No.
Oh, everyone in the south is either dead or gone, so yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to have...
brigade and the left wing of Nir's brigade is going to have to move west, big time. Move up. Good news is they've got some roads to help them do it. And those brand new American Continental engines. Put the heel to the steel, man!
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to... I can't move 3 and fire, right? Yeah, I can't do that. It's the other way.
Right.
Well, they're gonna have to move. There's nothing. They're gonna have to risk stagger fire.
Yeah, actually.
They're gonna have to. So 1 unit. So so the first unit's gonna move.
Whoa, T62, not T72. Big difference. Okay, which unit's gonna move first? I'm sorry.
It's the one in 1917.
Got it.
So he's gonna go up 1. Then he's gonna go to 2018.
Okay.
Or he moves actually. That's he'll actually, because he moves its road movement. So go to 2019 is 1.
2016.
At 2018, and then so he moves 6. So I'm just trying to do that's 1 move, 1 point.
Yep.
Because that's now you can do opportunity fire.
I'm pretty sure, because again, now we played the game the other way.
It's the segregate, yeah.
So no. Yes, yes, yes. All right, cool. 2 to 1. Here comes another 6. 3 on 2 to 1. He is dispersed. that is his opportunity fire.
Yeah, and again, I something was going to have to move, so now this stuff can move.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't make a difference to go. It's going to be 1 from the guy in 1817.
Yep.
He goes to 1916. That's 1.
Yep.
Then 21. That's 2. 2214. 3. 2312.
4.
And 4. So then he's going to go to 2412 and then 2511.
All right.
Okay. The next guy below him. So he's that's 1. 2016 2.
Yep.
21 14 3.
4.
4. 4.5 to the one above, and then to 2412. That's 5.5. I think that ends up.
Cool. All right, this guy can move 3 points.
So yeah, so he's gonna go 3 north, straight up. The guy in...
Oh yeah, this guy gets a move. Forgot all about him.
So he moves 3 also, so he's going to move...
1.
He's going to move 2, and he move into the town. That's where the other guy just exited. He's going there, because there's no shots. So who's left?
I think
this guy.
This guy and this guy can still move 3 even though he fired.
Yeah. So.
Oh, and technically the guy in the fort can move too.
Yeah.
In fact, the guy in the fort can move full. He never fired.
I actually find the fort not being that good, and I'm actually going to end up moving to...
Yeah, it's blinded from behind a lot.
Yeah, so
you're very safe there, but that's kind of half the problem.
Which and it kept me, and it's like this, but it's like I think I'm gonna move 2704 just because it gives me some protection and it puts me right into dunes. So he'll go there.
All right, believe it or not, I do not get opportunity fire because you have not spent a quarter of your movement.
Yeah.
I have a hell of a shot at him next turn. The problem is add 4 to the die roll because you have hold down shielding and an improved position. And again, anything I shoot, I don't move.
Yeah.
That's when my Vanguard turns around and overruns you. You were ordered to get to the farm. I'm not abandoning my brothers, man. What did I tell you? I said go for the fort. We were having this discussion yesterday. That's not what an Egyptian army would do. That's when you have to be very careful as a scenario designer. Like we were literally having this discussion yesterday off camera. What does this 3 group of Egyptian tanks do? Do they just bolt off the table on my turn, or do I turn around and 1, 2, 3, 4 overrun? Well, do you force the player into playing Israeli doctrine or Egyptian doctrine? Here, kind of, because again, 1, 2, 3, 6 victory points, kill an Israeli platoon. That's even if I do it. 4. The game organically encourages the player to play by Egyptian doctrine without slapping the player upside the head with, straight jacket, very restricted rules. It allows you to make the decision for yourself.
Okay, the guy in 2811 who can move 3, can move 3, so he's going to move to 30.
Guy in 2811, gotcha. I'm trying to select the damn tool. Sorry, 2011, okay. Got him. Gotcha.
So he's going to go 3 to 3109. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And the 2 tanks in yeah, they're gonna go well one at a time, I guess.
Okay. Honestly, consider, and again, I almost don't want you to do this because then if it turns out to be a bad move. 2711. I know it looks like you're kind of exposed there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have to divide everything by 2, and it gives you a line of fire over the remains of that road, extending from there to there. Pretty much everything else you're going to get some opportunity fire on. And you're still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're still going to be within half range for at least a lot of it.
I see. I was actually thinking the same. I was actually thinking going to 2811.
That might be even better.
I think I was thinking of going to 2811, and it was just the matter of how to get there. So I tried to avoid, because if I go to that's 1 and that's not anything, can't do anything. Yeah, I was just thinking I'd have to probably go like down and around to 2811, but I can just drive down because 1, 2, 3 there.
Yeah, that way you're never within 4 hexes.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to. I was just sort of planning. I was saying I got to get into that open slot, but I don't want to drive in a sense that it's a quarter of move, so technically it's 1 hex.
Technically it's 2 hexes because it's 1 is not a quarter of 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 hexes you actually trigger opportunity fire. So you unless you have a very slow movement rate, you get your first movement point for free. And in fact, I think your position is even better than the one I was suggesting because now your line of sight is even more broad.
Yeah,
and you're actually like half a hex closer. So that's your new arc of fire there.
Yeah. So I was just trying to look exactly like what's the best, because you're gonna have to drive through that. So and as long as you're within 8, and again, I either push you towards the guy up north, and he's gonna get a night. It's just that the fort up north doesn't help. So bring him down, and at least they kept him alive for 1 turn. So.
Yep.
I don't know how that's overall, but I think that's how it is now. There's nothing I can do.
Quite honestly, just as a scenario designer, that fort I slapped on there as historical reference. That fort was actually there at the junction between the Kaddish and Lexicon Road. I don't think it played a huge part in the battle, other than like a general reference point, because this crossroads was actually very important.
Well, and I mean, it's facing the wrong way.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It is something for tanks, but again, unfortunately, all the sandbags are on the wrong side.
Yeah, it's built to where it's got protection, i.e. protection, from the back, just in case they get flanked. Yeah, I have a hard time hitting you, but you have a hard time hitting me either. But...
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah. You're up.
So that will begin turn 5. Wrap this game up here. It's about time for me to impale myself, for better or worse. Okay. Let me just see what this would be. I probably shouldn't do this. Let me just see what this would be. 18, 18, and 18. Those 3 guys in 2406 have normal attack at this range. Within 4, not within 2. So that's 18, 18, 18. Those 2 18s in 2706 double because they're within 2. 36 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 36. The other guy also doubles. And the 1 tank in 2806 6 doubles. 162 divided by 15. 10 to 1 odds. I have to add 4 to my roll. And people say, wait a minute, this guy doesn't have hold down shielding. The way the rule is written, if any tanks in the attack have to pay hold down shielding, the whole thing has to pay hold down shielding. And no, I am not allowed to attack him twice in the same fire phase. One's with hold down shielding and one's not. You know, they're very careful not to leave any cheese in the rules.
Total all attacks into one. You can only attack a stack once. Yeah.
In one fire phase. You can attack him multiple times in opportunity fire, direct fire, indirect fire, airstrikes. Yeah, so 7 to 1, add 4 to the die roll. I still have to roll. I have a 50-50 shot. The tanks underneath. First of all, I'm already off the chart, so there's no point in me adding more tanks to it. Actually, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. I have to stick to the mission. Not get distracted like I always do in these games. Damon's laughing at me right now. By the way, Damon in the chat says, Bruce Lee has joined the chat. Bruce Lee, it has been a dog's age and a half since I've seen you. Son, where have you been?
I thought Bruce Lee was dead.
No, this is Bruce Von Lee in our chat. Sorry to cut and run. I gotta go now. Enjoy the fun and games. Hope you don't roll too many 6s, Jim. Bruce Lee, I'm sorry I missed you, dude. I will find you on Discord. Don't worry about it. Hello, Bruce, and hello, Ben. Oh, man, Damon. I'll catch up with the chat when I'm not slowing down the game. Sorry. Guys, I'll be with you in just a second. So, fire phase, screw it, none. There's nothing down here, right? Everything down here is burning. Good deal. He's already fired, so he's not doing anything. Get rid of his opportunity fire marker. Do I drop another? Oh, resolve artillery fire. That smoke screen starts to dissipate. Do I want to drop a new smoke screen? There really isn't a point at this point, so I'm going to move him up 1. Alright, that's everything else but my tanks. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to do my tanks. First off, no fire phase. Fuck it.
Actually, I'm just going to make a comment, and I don't know, because it's that, could the guy even drop a smoke screen into the Sager Hex to give him protection? Because I believe you can fire out of smoke, but
you can
fire in.
Yes, you can fire out of smoke, and firing into smoke gives you a +1 bonus. What you are not allowed to do is call in artillery on your own guys.
Yeah.
Even if it's only a smoke screen. Now, what you can do is you can drop a smoke screen like here, but now you can't shoot through it.
Yeah, you see, and to me, I was just not. And again, it's just that, yeah, you can't do it on your own. And again, it's even smoke, because otherwise that would be a great way to like sort of keep them alive or whatever.
Well, the crazy thing is smoke shells still explode. Although not very. Now what you can do, and I definitely do this sometimes, I call it in here during my direct fire phase, and then during my movement phase, I move into my own smoke screen. You can totally do that. You're just not allowed to call in a fire mission on your own troops, even if it's on smoke.
To me, it's only the what that does, unfortunately, is it doesn't help, like, because you want them to be able to fire and then move. So that would sort of allow that.
Well, a lot of the good moves, and this is what I love about Panzerleader, Panzerblitz, Arabus Early Wars. A lot of the really good moves take more than 1 turn to execute. Yeah. You have to set it up, and you have to kind of have it in your head. You're always playing at least 3 turns in this game. Absolutely. All right, so I'm declaring no fire. I'm just gonna go for broke. I can't believe Bruce Lee was in the chat and I missed it. That's Andrew. Long-time veteran, British Royal Army Engineers. We used to play Panzerleader with him. We played Panzerleader with him. We did a 9.5 hour stream. We did half of Gold Beach in full Panzerleader scale. Took us 9.5 hours live on stream. That video is still up on our channel, by the way, although it's cut down into 3 30-minute overviews. So, okay, they spent 2 hexes getting off the table. They're fine. Now, 1.5. If anyone wants to take opportunity fire on them.
I'm just wondering if anybody can't see him. I don't think.
Technically, one guy can see him. I don't know if you want to, but just to be fair.
Can he?
Yep.
Oh.
Because the hex, the dudes, he's totally got it. It's not ideal, and there's probably some juicier targets coming.
Yeah, And the other stuff has to cross the more kill zone, the better kill zone.
Only because the other stuff some of it will be within 6x's and you'll get to double.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm looking, and I see that.
So I'm not suggesting it. I'm just, hey, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you have other stuff to do, so you know, I'm not gonna take that shot.
All right, so that was 1.5.
He's gonna drive right out.
2, 2.5. He's sweet. He's out. All right, now come the guys that aren't gonna do so well. 1, 1.5. Oh boy.
Now I get to shoot.
Yep. This guy definitely doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So do both of these guys. Bruce Lee was in the chat and I missed it. I've been begging him to come by one of our streams for months. I'll find you later, dude. Thanks very much. Damon says, Jim, you've definitely pissed off Lady Luck tonight. That's fine. Ben Johnson adds, no more bad dice. Oh no. Bruce Lee's got to take off. Howard has joined us. Hello, Howard. Great game, guys. Must blow the dust off my copy of this game to get it off the shelf. Hell yeah, man. You've got Harvest Really Worse. Even better, Howard, you can always join us for one of our Sunday games.
Yeah.
Harvest Really Worse has suddenly become very popular on our channel. Not entirely sure why, but I am not going to complain. This is awesome.
Okay, so, so it's 50 to 24. So that's 2 to 1 right there.
If you, yep.
So 2 to 1. Go for it.
Alrighty.
The guy up north. Guy in the IFP position's firing.
He's firing right over his dunes. He says, bring it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and have a taste of this. 2 to 1 odds. Nearly point blank range. Here we go. 4. They are both pinned down.
Yeah.
Alright, I continue my movement. 1. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me be smart. 1.5. Or if you wait until I get to here, now you double. Those guys in the south. Oh, you were doubled up. It's 2705 anyway. All right, so 1.5. Just asking, is anyone taking it? If not,
no, let go one more. Okay. Now I'm going to do it.
Oh, awesome.
And it's going to be the guy in 3109.
Sweet. He's at 4 to 1.
Roll the bone. Roll the bones.
Ready? Oh, get it in the box, idiot. Okay, that is a 2. He is killed.
Crossroads to death.
Oh, true. It's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's like...
Okay, there's 1. 1.5. Now it becomes 2.5.
Bang.
Cool. 4 to 1, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Another kill. Oh my god! Ah, the opposite of that, please. There you go. Alrighty. He's gonna run out of guns eventually, guys.
That's almost how you play it.
I feel like Tom Hanks. Doyle, McCarvo, what's his name? Go! Might as well just give him a blindfold while you're at it. 1.5. 2.5.
Bang.
Go for it.
Bang.
All right, we're gonna super stack that crossroads with death counters. 3. He's also destroyed. Oh no. 3 Egyptians. Hey, we all know how this battle went historically. Alrighty. They're now out of opportunity fire. 1, 2, 3.
I think I'm gonna fire there.
I think you've got one more unit that can see.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just
the
not
guy down there.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
going to be a 2-to-1 shot, 25 versus 12.
Yep.
All right.
Roll the bone.
Watch him get 5. 5 red counters in a stack. Oh nope, that's
No.
a clean miss on 2-to-1.
Oh, too much fire.
Somebody got lucky. All that smoke blinded him. So wait a minute, that was 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Whoa.
Almost there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't have a shot.
6. The third guy can't quite do that. He winds up in 3204.
I have nothing for there.
Alrighty. 1, 2,
Bang.
3. Oh. Oh yeah. No. I'm not. Oh, whoa.
I got
right.
2 tanks there. I got
2
2
tanks.
tanks.
Yeah. 1, 2. I'm behind this dune here.
Oh, okay.
Is kind of what saves me a little bit. 1, 2, 3.
But 2, at 2, are you behind the dune? You going?
1. Actually, let me measure that. That's a good question. So right there. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And yes. Now, I think I reappear later. 1, 2.
No, because the dunes are they're it's
3, 4. I'm visible in these 2, but I'm only spending 1 movement point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I'm doing this. Wait,
I can't.
Did
can't shoot it.
I just cheat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did. Cheat. Because I can't move into that hex with road movement right.
So you stop there,
Yeah, I'll just do that.
and there's nothing I can do there.
Yeah, my problem is that they're probably dead next turn, but either that or the tanks. Who knows?
Actually, well,
Okay, game's almost over, folks. We now go to Israeli turn 3. I'm sorry, Israeli turn 5.
okay, I got a roll for dispersed.
Because you have no more fire immediately. Yeah, that's usually what we do at the end of the fire phase.
Oh,
Cool. Yeah, which I guess this is the end of your fire phase. Go ahead and yeah, roll. You need to roll a 1 through a 5 to rally. You make it because you're morale A.
Yeah.
Now that counts as his attack, so he now gets split movement fire roll.
yeah.
So technically, I'll just put that there to keep track of that.
So what else can move now? Let's have a look.
Pretty much everything can move. It's just the guys with the little white opportunity fire counters can only move to half.
Yeah.
These 2 can move full. This guy down here can move full.
Okay, can you just enlarge the screen a bit? Map a bit?
Sure. Which area?
Yeah, that area.
Okay.
Yeah, just where the units are down south, or not south. Well, you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. So, the guy from 20. It's fire first, right? Yeah. So I got a fire. There's nothing
Yeah,
to
but
fire.
I'm pretty sure everything's fired. That's why we started with,
Yeah.
with your rallies.
Yeah. There's nothing to fire. It's all fires. Yeah. So, rally. Now it's movement. Okay. So he can move 6.
Yep. That guy can move 6 down there in 29, 16.
Yeah. So goes 1. So he's actually going to drive. Going to go straight up 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Cool.
No place else he can go. So.
Whole ass, boy.
Okay, so the one in 3109.
Yep.
It's going to go to 3208. That's all they can really do. That's the. No matter what those dunes are going to block you.
For these guys here, make sure you keep a line of sight on this guy, which you barely do.
But he goes out of it right away, so I have to actually.
If I rally, that counts as my attack, and Egyptians do not get split moving fire, which means they're stuck
actually
there.
yeah. So actually stay at 3109. I'm actually going to do something else.
Okay.
I'm going to go to.
So resetting his movement. Okay. Yeah, these guys are pretty much out of here. You could be right next to them, and they would be off the map, because by the time they spend 2 movement points, they're off the map. So these guys are pretty much already victory points. These guys, conversely, are dead, because even if they rally, they're stuck there. And then, yeah, these guys are really the only variable at this point. Just make sure you don't let any of these 4 escape.
Yeah, that's what I'm sort of looking. So
Those 3 tanks further up the road, I think they're pretty much gone.
So he's going to go to keep you in line of sight. He's going to go to 2707.
20.
Oh no, that's 1 there. So that's 3. Yeah. So he goes to 2908. That's 1.
Okay. Yep.
Then 2808. 1 more, and then 1 more there.
2707.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a surprisingly safe move. Because obviously these guys are pinned down, they can't fire. These guys are blind because of the dune in the way. And these guys technically can fire, although because they're I-class weapons within 2, but 6 points against 15. Yeah, they're not going to fire.
Okay, so he's moved. That guy is moved. So the 2912 can go 3. He'll go 3 straight up. That's all he can do. Oh wait, no. Actually,
did you mean? Okay.
Yeah, no, that guy, he's gonna actually go to 2711. So he actually has a bit of angle.
Yep.
The ones in 2811.
Yep.
Both of them are going to go to 2806, 2808. So they go 3 up, both. He's moved, so the only 2 guys. So the one in 2511.
25. Oh, I'm sorry. You said 2511. Oh, this guy here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's going to go.
Well, this guy can move full. He hasn't fired yet.
Oh yeah, it's true. So.
Rasmus says, is the game over if the Sagar mortar are not off the board or killed? Technically, no. In the original scenario, they give the Israeli player points for Egyptian units still on the table. So once the last of my tanks either die or make it off the table, I'm just going to go ahead and consider those 2 tanks, those 2 Egyptian units destroyed, because they got left behind. He could easily eventually knock them out. It would just be a matter of turns. If we played all the way till turn 10, he would set up in hull down positions, probably in like a hex like 2214, and just like, or he could fire at him now and probably kill him. But those units are surprisingly hard to kill by tanks. Also, at the end of the game, everything's considered dead because technically, historically, 252nd Artillery Regiment joined the battle and just shelled everything that was left. And at the very end of the day, we did see a little bit of air activity. 1 MiG-17 and I think some Israeli airstrikes. came in and pretty much just killed everything that was left.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the one that you have thing at 2811, 2511.
Yep.
He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to go to 2506.
2506. Oh, that's right.
Straight
He can
up.
move full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot he can move full. They've cut the road behind us, man. There's no escape. Okay, 2412.
Yeah, and he's going to go. He's going to go to 2213 because I mean, you know, it's going to be irrelevant. I'll just make it that I'm going to attempt to like look. I'm going to kill them because
Right.
they're not going to reach it. So I'll go to 2213, and the other one is going to move to 22. He'll also move to 22.
Okay, so we're talking about engaging the saggers.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, he's not going to do anything.
Okay.
And the other guy is going to move to join him.
Cool.
Actually, I wanted one to be up there just in case there was, but that won't do anything, right?
They won't. The reason I moved him down is there's no line of sight there.
Yeah, yeah, okay, so yeah, he goes down one, yeah. Yeah, it's that dune. Okay, yeah, so he goes down there. Boom. Yeah, so he'll go down that one, and that'll be okay.
All right.
He said
Cool.
because they tried to eliminate it like that, and that's it. I can't do any fire. Everything just waits, and then.
All right, so, because we are coming up. Oh man, what the hell, machine? Sorry about that, guys. We can actually get to a legit end of this game if we hustle up just a little bit. Okay,
Yeah,
Egyptian fire phase. Egyptian fire phase is going to be just trying to rally those 2 tank platoons. They both fail again.
They're basically dead now. Now they're basically dead.
Now they're not basically dead. They're just friggin' dead. Okay, so that's it for my fire phase. Oh, actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and just launch one last despairing Sagger missile down here. That's 30 to 15, 2 to 1. However, I have to add 2 to the roll. I cannot kill him because of his hull down shielding. He gets hull down shielding there.
Yeah.
So 3 becomes a 5 on 2 to 1 odds. I barely managed to disperse one.
That's all I wanted. Because now you're out of ammo.
Well, that's true. If we play by strict chapter and verse, that is true. Saggers only get to shoot twice. I don't have Sagger reload counters, but technically you are correct. That is an actual printed rule in the Arabic Relay Warbook. Okay, over to my movement phase. That's 3 more of these guys escaped. So that is good news for me. 7, that gives me 14 points. At the moment, I'm winning. At the moment, I am winning. 28 to 24.
And then I start shooting.
Yeah, then he starts firing, yeah. Cool. I'm just happy that this game came out at least close. This is a really tough one to balance. Okay, now comes the bad news. Movement phase. 1, 2.
I think now I go bang, right?
Yep.
Yeah, now I go bang.
All right. So which guy's gonna fire? Literally,
Actually,
I think 6 platoons can fire at him.
Actually, you know, we're gonna start with the guy up north. Oh no, he can't.
Yeah, he can.
Oh yeah, he can. So
Yeah, I
he's
should
gonna
have.
fire.
I should have moved this before.
Okay, well he fires, he kills him.
Yeah, that's going to be 50 to 5, 10 to 1 odds. He's toast. Now he is not a tank, so I'm actually going to, for scoring purposes. No, damn it! Come on. God, to do anything takes like 19 clicks. I'll just make them purple. There you go. It looks a little silly, but now I know which ones are worth 2 points and which ones are worth 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, so that's him fired.
Yeah.
This guy's going to do the same thing.
Then he goes bang.
Okay, which guy actually did it?
It'll be the guy in 2506.
This is when you get your rookie boot newbie tank gunner. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, let Abraham take the shot. Okay, he's never killed anything before. We need to get him some blood on his hands. I'm sorry, who was that again?
2506.
When I was making my stupid joke. All right, cool. Again, the 10-to-1 table, 50-to-5, and no cover bonus. Cool. So that is him taking his shot. And I'm pretty sure that's it for my turn because I fired my Sagger.
Have a mortar shot.
I don't think my mortar is close enough to do anything useful.
You put smoke on it.
I would love to put a smoke counter there. I can't see that hex. I can put a smoke counter here, which kind of saves me.
Actually, it doesn't really, because now technically, since you're out of Saggers, I can just drive up and knock.
Yeah, just drive up and auto. That's all I say. I'm not gonna go through the labor on this one here. We're just gonna,
it's not worth it.
But in a technical game, yeah, we'd have to eliminate those two. Excuse me, those two units. But again, we're on turn 6. You have 4 turns to run them down. You got it.
Yeah.
So actually, if we go to your fire phase,
well,
because I'm done moving, I will not deny you the pleasure of killing these two.
Yeah. So I mean, technically now it's.
Technically now it's 150 to 25. It is 6-to-1 because you've got 3 tank platoons that are close by. They all double. 25, 25, 25 times 2. 150 divided by 24 is technically, what is
6
that?
to 1.
Yeah, 6-to-1. Subtract 1 from the die roll and a double D will do it. You literally don't even need dice. This happens at the end of Israeli turn 6. And we'll eventually count these 2 guys as smoked. And that is game. Alright, so let's add up the points. I'm pretty sure you pulled off a narrow win.
Yeah, I as I said, I mean, the original sort of there, you made it a lot more challenging because the reinforcements taking time to come in, and they're not all in the same position. Like I don't start in one big group.
Other kills is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe not so narrow. Holy shit. I killed 1 tank, so I got 4 points for that. How many other escapes did I get off the table? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. That gives me 2 points for everything off the edge of the table. That is 20 points. And holy crap, maybe I may have overcorrected this. 4 points for each T-62 off the table. I may have screwed this up. So again, I made up these new victory conditions. These victory conditions may not be correct. Point of, in all honesty. 28, 48, 52 is the Egyptian score. 4 points, 20 points is 24, 24 plus 28. And we have 26 plus 12, 38 to 52. Egyptian victory. I think I overcorrected those guys a little bit. I will say this, the victory points, the actual Israeli casualties were exactly on the money. Way more Egyptians survived this than survived historically.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think that making it 2 board thickness, yep. Totally, because it doesn't, because literally in the first game, in the original, all the Israeli units, A, start on the board, B, and they all start almost in range, on turn 1. Which
is both good news and bad news for the Israelis. It's good news that you have a much narrower board to cover. It's bad news because, yeah, the Egyptians are on top of you immediately, and they can take away that range advantage from you very quickly. So anyway, if I change that to 3 points for a whatchamacallit kill. Again, I think I overcorrected. And make that only worth 1 point.
I mean, you know, and again, that it's always a thing is that I mean, you know, I enjoyed the game. I'm not, you know, if I win or lose, it doesn't make a difference. Well, it does, but it doesn't in the sense that, you know, and again, it's also the points you say it's incredibly hard because you got to sort of how much is what's your goal? You want to save your best tanks, so they're actually worth something. On the other hand, they're just going to get knocked out probably a bit later. But I mean, if for this scenario, you wanted to save, and you actually got how many T-34s escape, T-76, T-62s escape?
3, 4,
10 of them.
5, 6, 7. 7 of them got off. Egyptian escapes are non-T-62s.
Okay.
And T-62s, I got 7. So you get different points.
Yeah.
5 BMP platoons carrying infantry made it off the table. So you took out half of that battalion, 4 out of 9. So that means we're at 38 to 31, 35. At least now it's closer. I mean, I honestly think I mean, this isn't just me because I just want the game to be close. And honestly, I would count this as Egyptian victory only because I did get 35 T-62s off the table. That did not happen historically.
You know, and I mean, to me, I would also say that I think, yes, I think you probably did win this. And I'd say it either way because you accomplished exactly what you were supposed to do. You got your T-62s off. Again, and, you know, I mean, partly it's... How would this... If this scenario was different, if you put the tanks... You know, if you made the board a bit longer, if you gave me a bit more space, and the dunes have to play a super role in it. All those little things, you know. I mean, you could say the minefield, you know, you got to play around with.
I think the points I'm happy with. I think what kind of threw it off from a design scenario perspective was go back to the construction table. Is the Israeli units coming in? Because how much did Karen's brigade really do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
It literally did nothing, and I you know, because it comes in there, but it's behind the Egyptian mass. Yeah. So the most that I could, and on top of it, the one unit you left behind was the one unit that could actually do some damage to it. So it's not something that I can just, like, if it was just a mortar and an infantry unit, I would have just driven right past them and not cared. But it's a Sagger. I cannot not think about it. You know, I have to give it respect. So it does play a part in everything. But again, they were playing catch up, and I think it's also the mechanics of the game where if you can move and fire versus you fire and move is a totally different thing.
Oh, absolutely.
So you know,
I love that. That's almost no good war game allows you to fire and move in the same turn. Or if it does, it puts a lot of restrictions on it, and only relatively elite units can do it. And even Israelis can only move half. Until you get to fully stabilized guns, Gulf 4, M1 Abrams, Charlie 2s, stuff like that, Leopard 2s. Yeah, I don't like games where you can fire and move in the same turn.
You know,
that's not how it works.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it's just a limitation. Again, I mean, you know, when you're taking a game where, and I think this is actually, you've done a great job, where you've taken a game which is like literally totally one-sided, and it's now a real challenge. Now, you know,
yeah, if I were going to redo this, I would probably give Nir's brigade like an extra couple platoons, because. Yeah, technically you have 10, and the original scenario only gives you 8. Two important differences: the original scenario gives you 8 of these.
And you saw how that 14 range was something.
That does make a difference. Number one,
because you saw,
and it gives you them all at once. Also, it historically completely gets it wrong. The original scenario, it lets you set them up like right across the end of the table, where it's like literally a demolition derby, two forces colliding head on. That's not how this battle was. It was a flanking attack.
And I mean, I think this is where you know, and again, I mean, it's only can you recreate technically what happened historically? I think that's also a challenge, and I think, and again, it's the arrival of the two brigades are such a delicate thing, because if you put them on too early or whatever, it's like there's no chance. But then again, if you put them on just a bit too late, and I could even say maybe the only thing that I would consider doing is saying that the 433rd comes on at the second turn.
That's actually a good idea.
Because that actually, and again, I mean, I look at it that the turns in this game are incredibly fluid. Like they're either 5 minutes or they're 30 minutes. It really doesn't matter, because you drive differently on roads. So like it's 30 minutes a turn. I know it says an hour or whatever.
It says 6 minutes, but that's always been highly suspect.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. You know, again, it's like there's no way that could be true. So again, I'm like, I think turns are always very flexible in, like, you know, they're 5 minutes, they're 30 minutes, because a lot happens. Artillery bombardments take longer than 6 minutes, you know, and all that stuff. So again, and maybe it is just that brigade arrives on turn 2.
That might even be a better fix. That might even be a better fix. Yeah.
You know, and it's just, and again, it to me, and as I say, when I normally run games at conventions, when I come out with the game and I put it out and like I try to like play it in advance, I'll play everything in advance and then I'll do it again. I'll do it like 3 or 4 times, tinkering, all like, even if the setup is 6 inches closer, because 6 inches and 6 inches, now you're 1 turn to firing versus it takes 2 turns. But then I also say, I want players to sort of, you know, who don't know, to understand this is the dynamics of the turn sequence. You move, you can position, you can react. So I don't want to start you off where on turn 1 you're under fire, where I want you to sort of like, you can play your own game and you can redeploy some stuff just slightly, and it gets you a feel of like, okay, this is how the planes move and everything, or the tanks move and shoot, and again, it's, you know, I to find the perfect scenario, I haven't figured that one out yet. You know, did I enjoy the game? I thought this was, you know, a challenge. I mean, as I said, I had to really think about where to move my units. You know, the minefield, again, I'm always suspect on minefields when, you know, people drive in certain ways where if they get hit, then all of a sudden it just sort of affects it. Now, did minefields play a real, you know, have a real effect in this game?
In this game, no. In the historical battle,
battle,
they sort of did, but only because the Egyptians turned around and fled the other way. So historically, the Egyptians ran onto the table, they got the hell shot out of them, and then they turned around and ran back here in a panic. And they ran into this minefield. Honestly, those were also the majority of the Israeli losses, because they just went haul-ass after them in a blind, you know, cavalry saber charge, and they ran over some of their own minefields.
And it's also the thing is that, and again, as a player, and again, I'm not criticizing you as a player, but I'm saying also, you can also single-mindedly, you know, just have every unit drive off the table and don't care. Where in real life, some tank crews might just say, "Screw this! I'm, you know, I've just seen everybody around me get hit. I'm turning back. I don't care. Commander got hit, you know." And again, and once the commander's gone, whatever. You know, I'm saving my ass.
That's one thing that most that Pinch leader, Arab Israeli Wars, Pinch Blitz doesn't have is a really solid command and control system. I've attempted with it. I've tinkered with it, but I didn't want to load a whole bunch of like house rules onto this one.
Yeah, and this is hard because again, it's, you know, I'll say it's difficult because you have also, and you look where the Egyptian infantry was absolutely incredible, but the tank crews were a bit lacking at times. You know, but again, they also did the charge in, you know, and they're being ordered, and this is an elite brigade, so these are a lot of factors that you sort of got to take into account, saying, would they just, you know, turn and flee? Well, historically they did. You know, it's like, so it's not like
it's a limitation of the Arab Israeli war system where if you give a unit a low morale, it doesn't make them run away. It just says if you get pinned down, they don't rally. That's where there are possibilities you could throw in. special rules where it's like, look, this unit is going to advance until it takes 60% losses. You know, Force A takes 60% losses, then it has to turn around and run the other way. That's where you start getting to some straitjacket, or maybe there's a die roll. We play around with command units. Bruce Lee, who has left our chat, Damon has been in some of these games, where we do have the old Panzer Blitz style CPs on the table. And if a CP gets knocked out, that unit, whatever that CP controls, has to make a die roll. If it fails to die roll, its morale reduces by 1. It goes from an A to a B, or from a C to a D, or whatever. So we've tinkered with it, and other dining room table publishing guys, people who publish their own versions of this game, have tried with commanders. The only pitfall that leads to is headhunting, because you obviously see where the commander is on the table, and the enemy player just immediately shoots for him, and that's where it starts to get weird.
I mean, I remember when somebody, and it was an old review of an old, you probably read it, an old review of this game, and the guy said, you secretly designate one unit as your commander, and you see if that one survives. So it's like the enemy player doesn't know who the command tank is, but there's still one there. So it's like you sort of have to, what it is, but he does it. So all of a sudden it's like the higher force. Oh, I guess I hit the right guy.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea, because the original game, when you buy it and you take it out of the box and you punch physical counters out of the board, the counters are serialized. They actually have a little number. Mine don't, but you have like a little number on the bottom. There's still a way that you could do it in this game, but I haven't experimented with that.
And again, I mean, somebody once, I was once talking with somebody, and I'll say it like this: why do we all criticize Star Wars? And Star Wars fan. And I said, it's not because we hate it; it's because we actually love it so much that we just want to make it even better. So as much as we might criticize Arab Israeli Wars, we actually secretly love it. And it's like a fantastic game, and we just want to make it a better game. We don't want to say, "Oh, it's a crap game." No.
I'm being buried with a box of this in my casket. Yeah. Absolutely.
This to me, it's one of, as I said, it got me started in wargaming. It was one of the trilogy. I love all aspects of it. I mean, and if I could improve it, I would. And again, I think that's just the marvel that we have. I mean, and what you've done, you've made a great. We can now play this, in the comfort of our own home, and record it for posterity, and have some incredible die rolls. And I'm actually grateful. I think the die rolls were quite fair all the ways. I mean, there were some totally,
we both threw some bricks, that's for sure.
Yeah, and at the same token, it's one you got lucky, and one that unit just totally escaped. On the other hand, some, and we took shots that I think were very real life shots where they took a shot, they saw an Israeli tank. That was your first shot of the game. I mean, it's almost it's like
this mess here.
Yeah.
I almost wish I hadn't done that, but oh well. I eventually got. Oh wait, here he is. Sorry, I have him in the wrong spot. I eventually got him, but by the time he was killed, I had fired 9 plus everything. 4, 13 times 5. What is that? 85 tanks had fired at that one platoon to finally knock him.
But look at it like this: if you didn't take that initial shot, he wouldn't have been dispersed. You might not have killed him, but I think the battle would have been, you would have probably had more units off the board if you didn't take that shot. And that's basically, that the choice you take. I mean, do you just drive through, take the casualties, and don't care? Again, I mean,
that's why the victory conditions have to give the Egyptian player a very high award for Israeli tanks killed. Maybe, but then it also gets to the point where, I get 4 points for an Israeli platoon killed, but I get 4 points for every T-62 off the table. Yeah, but every Israeli tank that you kill, every Israeli tank platoon eliminated, is going to be one less kill later. So, it's turn 1, I eliminate 1 tank platoon, that's 4 points. Turn 2, that's 1 less of my T-62s that was killed. Turn 3, 1 less of my T-62s that was killed. Turn 4, 1 less of my T-62s that were killed. I'm off the table. I just got 16 points out of that shot. Is it going to work out that way? You don't know, but that's the gamble that you have to take.
You know, and it would have been so different if you didn't roll a 6.
Oh God, yeah, that would have been nice.
You know, and it's like you just rolled a 6 at the one time. It's like, and what can you do? It happens, and you know, to me, it's like,
yep.
yeah, and you know, I mean, there's a million reasons why the shot was missed. You know, and it's like, oh, but at least you took the shot. I mean, you know, you could have had it. I mean, we're 1 in 6 that it doesn't work, and it just the luck wasn't on your side that one time. But no, I mean, as I said, I would take the look historically, and I think the Egyptians did really well. Again, it's, you know, maybe my setup. I'll try to replay this game, saying where did I make a mistake, where could I have done much, and I don't really think I made too many mistakes.
The deployment to the fort was the only real one. I really like your idea about bringing Karen's brigade on 1 turn early. I really like that.
And you know, I did the fort, and it's one of those, that was a real gamble, because it took me out of, I could kill units, but at the same token, and it made me safer, but I couldn't kill units. And it's like, you know, if I stayed there, you might have said, I'm just going to drive past them and take the casualties and like this. But, you know, that's one of those, as an Israeli, okay, I want to save the tanks, because that's, you know, and again, I wanted to save myself. You don't want to lose units, because if you had 3 units and you drove right next to it and fired, you would have killed it, most likely. I mean, maybe luck, no. But again, I have to take it that I wanted to save that unit, and, you know, in the end, by him being alive, he got a few more kills, like 2 more kills.
Yeah, I was amazed where Chef's brigade survived. I thought for sure I had him in the mother of all overruns here in 2306. Yeah. But then you like dispersed and killed like this whole pile up. I was like, oh God, okay, there went that. And then I decided to shoot at your other tank instead, which probably wasn't the best move, but hey, it's all good.
You know, I think it comes down to that no matter what we call this game, it'll definitely be nicknamed Crossroads of Death.
Well, there you go.
Crossroads seemed to be the one thing that the Egyptians, like, you know, on the crossroads or right after it, like there's your pileups.
Yep, 2 of them, 3 of them. You know, really, this is kind of all around the crossroads down here. There's definitely a huge one here, and there's another one here. Yeah, all 3 crossroads.
You know, like they were, you know, and again, it's, you know, I mean,
how many times does that happen on the actual battlefield? And there's no special rule here. Oh, enemies like Flames of War might do, or some other, you know, lesser game might do. Oh, when you're in a crossroads, you have a -1 to your defense because reasons. It just, in a game like this, it happens organically. And I've totally seen that happen before. There's just these little focal points. And it's always around, oh, this little choke point, or this crossroads, or this bridge.
You know, and I'll say this, it is and it isn't. I think it's just, partly I think it comes down to the player. Like, it's, you know, like we see it, it's going there, now we're going to fire. Like, I could have probably fired a turn or like a little bit, but sometimes it was like, no, I'm going to wait till you get to that 1 hex, and then I'm going to blow you up. Yeah. And it was like, it again, that there, would you wait that one, like that extra 10-15 seconds? Maybe. You know, in the heat of battle, who knows? But it's like, as a player that we're looking at it from like the God's eye view, I'm going to let you go 1 more, and I know you have to go 1 more. Like, I know that you have to, so I'm gonna shoot you when you go there, because it looks nice to see a pile of wrecks. Where I could easily have knocked, and made it a row of death. But yeah, you know, I started with the cross. I started with
2705, 26, was that 2806? Yeah, I could have spread it out.
I think the 22 or 20, yeah, the 2007. When I got that one first, like that was the first one that I got. That was after that. It was this. You know, then I took the big stack and everything, but that was the one, okay, right after the crossroads, I killed you, and it's like, yeah, and then right before it, like the big wreck, it's like, you know, if you had any more vehicles, you're probably looking at 1807, if they had to, like, you know, if they were jammed there. And if I had my tanks a bit closer, that probably would have been from that stack that fired and missed, that would be also burning wrecks.
It doesn't happen often, but what happens in some of these games, that's when you know a battle is really intense, is where you get intermingled wreck counters. Wreck counters of the 2 sides, yeah. And Chinese farm, you see that? There's photographic evidence. There's an M60 and a T55. Their barrels were practically touching,
Yeah,
and they're both burnt out. Yeah, it's a famous photo from Chinese Farm. That's all over the place there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been a great stream. We're just about 5 minutes from our cutoff time, so I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody for coming out again. Thanks very much, sir, for a great game. I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
Anybody who agrees to play Arab-Israeli Wars with me, or really any of these games. Spoiler alert: if you play Panzer Blitz or Panzer Leader in the modern age, what you're really doing is you're playing Arab-Israeli Wars. You're just using those rules in a World War II setting. So most of the other Panzer Blitz and Panzer Leader games that we have featured on this channel have in fact been Arab-Israeli Wars rules engine, because the first two games really don't work that well out of the box. They have a lot of problems. Arab-Israeli Wars fixes most of them, so that's what we usually stick with. So once again, everybody, thanks very much for coming out. We really appreciate everyone's support. Thanks very much, Bernhard, for coming out and gaming with us. Definitely appreciate you spending your Sunday with us.
Yeah, no, I mean, my pleasure, and thanks again for, like, one, hosting, two, doing all this work. I don't have that computer skill to do it, so and I really enjoyed myself. Close game. Those means that they were probably pretty good. Again, it wasn't perfect, but maybe a few tinkers, and next thing you know is, it'll
reduce regular escapes to 1 point instead of 2 points, and have Karen's brigade come in on turn 2. I think that makes the game just about perfect.
Because as I said, I think beyond that, I think the expanded 2 boards instead of 1 much better.
Yeah, even though a lot of it's water, but yeah, it's definitely more. It's
not
definitely...
really. It gives more because it's like it's half, but then like halfway through, it's like you got a lot of space, and I still have to go up there. And those dunes, oh boy, those dunes, man.
Yeah.
The only thing missing was, I think.
If you look at original Arab-Israeli War boards A and B, the 2 ones that originally come with the game, I've got about the same amount of dune density. So I tried to stick with the original game presented. Putting it down too many dunes does break up line of sight and does hurt the Israeli player.
I think that's the only thing, is that you almost have to really study where the dunes are to position your tanks. And again, to me, that's also the one part where I always sort of suspect on that, because again, you never know where these dunes are most of the time, and people are really playing, the angles. But again, that's just the way it is.
Experienced tank commanders get real good at that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. These guys have been in 67. This was the reserve brigade, so these guys have been in more than 1 war. This was by no means the first day of this war. Yeah, they get real good at that. No. But anyway, guys, we got to get going. We're right about at 5 o'clock. So again, thanks everybody for coming out. Thanks very much for coming out and playing with us today, sir. And unless anyone else had any more questions, Damon says, good game, guys. Thanks very much. Novus Templar says, great game all. Thanks very much, Novus Templar. We're going to go ahead and call it. Keep an eye out for us later this week. I'm going to put out some commentary with myself and Piotr on our Chinese farm game. And also, I think me and Bill are going to try to finish up the rest of that Sitrep skirmish game, the 28mm. That's a tough prospect, playing a 28mm miniature game over a Skype call. But hey, we'll figure it out. All right, guys, I'm going to go and close out the stream. Thanks very much, and yeah, we'll be in touch very soon. So long, everybody.